up, guys? Welcome back to Blood, Sweat, and Gear with coaches Skip Hill, Andrew Berry, myself, Scott McNally, and all of our programming is brought to you by you, the people of Patreon. We've got some Patreon stuff today. We're brought to you by TrueNutrition.com. Use our code THINK to get additional savings on all your basic bodybuilding supplements, protein powder, creatine, intra-workout, the likes. Get the Team Skip blend over there. And, of course, SupplementSource.ca for our Canadians. They have great deals that change week to week on short-dated and label change products, guys. We got a bunch of stuff. We do have a ton of listener questions. We got a bunch of listener feedback that I want to try to get into at some point in the show. We're going to cover all your questions today. Skip's been coaching 100 years. Andrew's been coaching for like 15. I've been coaching full-time for over a decade now. So we're all here to freely share our education with you and help you guys be better at the sport that we love. Skip, you brought a topic to the plate today. And I pulled up some pictures here. Maybe we can go over them. How do you want to throw this at us? Basically relating to judging and are guys being judged against their competition on stage, or are they being judged against themselves? This would be a treat for all the IFBB Pro fans.
Yeah, I think the way to say, let me see if you agree with this, because I think I had it in my head where we were thinking, are you being judged against the field, or are you being judged against your previous best?
That is way more concise. Literally, I would have taken 2 minutes to explain that.
You
so I appreciate that.
You saved us.
Round of applause.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, so how do you want to start off with this? Like, I think we do have some athletes we want to highlight, I think it depends on the show, right? Like, the bigger the show, like the Olympia, I do think it creeps in a little bit in terms of how, like, let's use Samson as an example real quick. Samson was off last year. That completely pulled him out of winning the Olympia, right? Because his personal best was, or at least better than last year, was the previous year when he won. He came in, looks like he tried to diet himself to a different type of conditioning. It just resulted in actually a less conditioned look and just not a full, hard, the opposing look that he had the year before. So I do agree with you in that sense. He was right off the bat being judged against himself, at least on the first initial comparison. Regular IFBB shows, I think a lot of them, you're judged against the field. And I'll say, like, here's an example. At the Tampa last year, Joe P., who made some leaps and bounds, crept right into that, like, top 2, 3, where he was being compared. I think for a minute there, they thought they were going to give him the win, against a more experienced field. Maybe not experienced, but Jordan looked really good. Obviously, he won the show. Jordan had been improving, but if you want to talk about who had improved the most from their previous show the year before, Joe was out of this world improved, 360 degrees. So I think, I don't know, it gave him a shot at being judged against these other guys that may be a little bit more genetically superior, and I think it definitely moved him up.
I'll go one step further. Is it possible? I don't want to create a conspiracy here if no one else has thought about this. But is it possible that the IFBB could use the lower tier pro shows to create hype for the Olympia? Just throwing it out there. I don't know that I believe it. I'm just throwing it out there.
Do you mean like not giving Derek the win at Pittsburgh? Giving it to Derek?
Well,
I'm sorry, not giving Nick the win, giving Derek the win, forcing Nick to go and do the New York to get a 3-time win, and then setting up a big brouhaha for the Olympia. Sounds interesting.
I mean, you might get more views and you might sell more tickets when you hype up the audience that you really want to be hyped up versus going into an Olympia going, oh, yeah, it's the same old run. Yeah, I'm excited to see it, but
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that that's what's done. I am saying that in the conspiracy environment or society that we live in, I can't be the only one who has thought that. Do I think that happens? I'll be honest. I don't think that happens. But maybe it's because I don't want to think it happens.
Yeah, I will say this. I can't speak for judging at the IFBB, like, Olympia level, but I can tell you that at the state level, people say there's no politics, and I agree in a way, but at the same time, in order to be a judge, you have to test judge twice. In order to be a successful test judge, you have to agree with everybody else, right? So like you're kind of getting groomed. You're not really, you can't. So if you had like this idea of like, I'm going to bring my ideas of what a good physique is to, you know, competitive bodybuilding, and so therefore I am going to judge. That's not the way it works. You know what I mean? Yeah. Judging is about agreeing with everybody else who's already there. If you go way off, you don't agree. Like, I liked that guy a lot better and I can make an argument for him. It doesn't matter if I'm the test judge and I'm the only person who thinks that way. You know what I'm saying?
I think it doesn't matter if you're picking the guy that everyone else had in 5th winning the show.
Yeah.
Like, I think if it's a disparity of 1 and 2, I think that's, you know, maybe one guy's just super conditioned, maybe a little on the flatter side. The other guy's fuller, looks a little bit rounder, a little more bodybuilder-ish.
Yeah.
That's just that's a flavor. What flavor do you like? You know, but if you got the guy who's out of shape, you know, he's in 5th or 6th place, and you got him winning the show, and everyone else has him in 5th or 6th place.
I'm just trying to make an argument. You know, I'm trying to make that argument. Sure. Like, is there an element of like, because I'm agreeable, I'm therefore able to judge?
Oh, well, let's compare if we can real quick, because the timing is very good. Let's compare bodybuilding judging to, say, ice hockey judging at the Winter Olympics.
Okay.
If you think that bodybuilding judging is screwed up, pay a little bit of attention to the history of ice skating.
Oh, ice skating. You said ice hockey.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's
like figure skating.
Correct me, because that's totally not the same. The figure skating, exactly, the ice skating. You know, we just came out. The United States took silver. Okay. And they went through the judging scores, and oh wow, Denmark didn't want to score United States very high. It was very, very low, and they were scored high. So it was just, it's very, very clear. We don't have that in bodybuilding. And for those who don't know, who are listening, at least these days a lot of people know, but for those who don't, they eliminate the high score. You add up all the scores, you eliminate the low score and the high score, and you average the middle score. So if there are two people, one's high, one's low, and they're just way out of whack, it doesn't even count in the final scoring. So that's important, and that eliminates that outlier who might be like, yeah, Skip, he took 2nd at the Olympia. You know, that type of thing, if I were in the lineup, mind you. But still, the point is if you're an outlier, it doesn't work. You basically all have to agree, or at least be within those...
Consensus.
Yeah, exactly.
A general consensus, yeah.
So it begs this question. I think that it's judged... I do. I think that it's judged fairly on the day. But again, that's just, you know, I also don't think that NFL games are rigged. I don't think that they're scripted, you know, things like that. I find things like that kind of funny.
They're not scripted. They're not rigged in the sense that you think they are. But Warren Sapp, I don't know if you guys remember him. He described it perfectly. He's like, you don't go after the top guys. You go after the guy that's L2 or whatever on the kickoff team. And you tell him, hey, somewhere in the 3rd quarter, when you guys are on kickoff after you score, I need a hole in your lane, meaning you're going to give a shitty attack and you're going to fall down, creating a hole. After that, and he does it by dropping him let's say the guy's making $100,000 a year. He brings him $100,000, say, I'm going to give you this now and I'm going to give you another one after the game for you to make a hole to create an opportunity for the other team. If it pans out or it doesn't pan out, you're still getting your money. That's how it happens. These bookies get to them that way.
And it's a long discussion, but I'll say this. I do agree that there can be those minor, I mean, it's money. At the end of the day, it's gambling. The biggest mistake that was ever made in professional sports was allowing the gambling because of the high level. The amount of money that can be made gambling blows away the money that anybody's going to be paid on the field. So anybody who does think it's scripted, I get why they think it's scripted. I just think that so many people have to come together for it to be on such a massive level to essentially create the outcome of a team winning. You can do those minor things to potentially help.
Like with the basketball stuff. You guys remember hearing that earlier this year? You know, all those guys like, I'm going to take a fall in, you know, the 3rd quarter or whatever, 3rd period, all of that.
This is on topic but kind of off, but did you guys see in the Epstein files there, Gruden, you remember John Gruden?
Yeah.
An email about him surfaced from someone to Roger Goodell. And this is a couple years ago when he was coaching, Gruden was coaching the Raiders, and they were like 4-0. And I think it was Epstein was emailing this person who's part of the, no, he was emailing Goodell saying, are you watching what's going on in Oakland? We need to stop this. Gruden's at 4-0, and they've already beat three playoff teams. He's like, we need this to stop now, and we need Pfizer boy to win. And they're talking about, what's his name, tight end, dates Taylor Swift. And his
Kelsey.
team, and they won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
It's a little interesting. So just to throw some more conspiracy stuff out there at you guys.
Okay, well, I'm not going to retract my statement. The point I was trying to make didn't work. But I do think that the judging on the stage that day, I do think the intention, I mean, at the end of the day, the judges are professional. They want to keep their jobs just like referees and umpires want to keep their job, and they're graded and all that good stuff. I will say this, though, and this is the caveat. So I think that at every level, the biases are there with the judges because they're human. I was told, and this is a low-level show, state of Colorado. I went in as a heavyweight one year, was not in my typical condition, loved my look because I was just full. Like, to me, that was a time where it looked like I put air hose in every one of my muscles, and I just felt, but I wasn't as tight as I normally am. And I was literally told afterwards that, you weren't in the condition you were normally in. And that came back to me when we were talking about this. So I think there's some level of, like, when people saw Nick at the Pittsburgh, the judges, they probably were like, oh my God, like, you recognize it. You're like, oh. So it plays a part. I even go back to, like, how far back can you go, Andrew? Gunter Schlierkamp, when he went top 10 all of a sudden out of freaking nowhere that year.
Yeah.
Was he good enough to be in the top 10? Maybe he was. But did he get noticed right away? And there was a subconscious bias in the sense, oh man, Gunter doesn't look like what he normally does. So he could have gone a little higher. I don't know.
Which Nick looks better here, Skip? This is the 2024 New York Pro versus the Pittsburgh Pro 25.
Well, the lighting is a little bit different.
Yeah.
God, this is more personal preference, but I don't know. I like the New York Pro look, if I'm being honest. He's harder on the right, but I just think that, and maybe it is the lighting. I don't know, because I wasn't there in person, so I'm not, okay. So I don't know.
Well, let me say this, because, like, if you watch the video,
Yeah.
when Nick came out and did his individual, it was, in my mind, lights out. And here's the thing. 85% of, because, every bodybuilding page was going nuts after the Pittsburgh Pro, because they got to see Derek against Nick.
Yeah.
Probably 90 to 92% of the comments were like, holy shit, Nick smoked Derek. Holy shit, it's Nick. Nick's winning this show. These pictures just don't capitalize what was seen in the video. But then again, like we always say, it might also not capitalize on what the judges were seeing in front of them, which is why it was a 3-2 decision going towards Derek, But yet the VP saying that he liked Nick in this show, Tyler.
In this picture, looks very different, lighting wise. Like if you were to tell me that's the same show as this,
and you had top level pros from, Heath to all these guys saying, they were pretty surprised that Nick didn't win it. And I think that, that says something too. They're not judges. They didn't judge the show.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
It is. It's kind of like,
I mean, it also does sound nice to say Triple Crown,
Sure.
Derek winning all the big ones.
Yep.
It also is nice to have Nick now be forced to go and qualify for the Olympia by doing a New York Pro a week later, a 3-time winner of that show. I'm sure Steve likes that. And then setting up the stage 6 months later for the big Olympia showdown. So, yeah, I mean, I think all that and above. But then I think, Scott, you were alluding to the Olympia now and judging his Pittsburgh look versus the Olympia, which I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
There was a major.
oh, yeah.
When he walked out, it was like, like it's just not there. His stomach's sticking out. His tan wasn't good. He doesn't look as hard. He looked a tiny bit overspilled, a little watery. But then it was corrected for the Saturday show. He looked a lot better Saturday. So do I think he lost a lot of ground because he was being compared to his Pittsburgh look, which in my mind was his best look to date? Yeah, I think in that case, he lost ground because of that.
Yeah.
I think that you can't help but judge somebody against what you know of them if they're off. You can't help but say, like we saw Nick at the Olympia and we knew he was capable of more. It's hard not to unsee that, to be like, but he was so much sharper at, fill in the blank show and to dock him for that. I don't know. It's definitely, I don't think it's going to be in your favor in any way, you know, to have that in somebody's head, having a judge's
Plus,
head.
it's the biggest show of the year, the best show of the year with the best of the best, you know? So any mistake or any discrepancy is going to be magnified times 100 against guys that are on, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like Hottie's on, Derek's on, Martin was pretty on, you know? So it's like your weaknesses now get amplified 10 to 100 times, whereas, and it makes them look just a little bit better, you know? So it separates you from the pack in a negative way.
Can I ask you guys a question real quick? It's still on topic, but it got me thinking. Of all the Olympia winners, at least, you know, over the last 20 years, just off the top of our heads, how many of those Olympia winners were not consistent with their peak?
How many?
Because, I mean, the vast majority of them off the top of my head, they absolutely were.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could always say that, like, Phil Heath was consistently better on Saturday night every year. You know?
He really was.
But he was consistently peaked. You know what I mean? He never,
Yeah.
even with food poisoning, no one would have known that, I don't think, unless he mentioned it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Was Dorian ever really, I mean, did he have a point where one year he was off? It's been a while.
when his muscles were torn and he was towards the end, I think a little bit, but, you know.
That's where I think like you could say that with Phil too, you know, and Ronnie, that like towards the end, it was like,
but is that more of a peaking issue, or is that just
the body's not,
you know, age catching up with you and the people behind you are coming up because they're fresh? Yeah.
Overall consistent peaks. I would agree with your point. Yeah. Overall very
And I'm trying to think of someone who wasn't. Who was a surprise?
Samson.
Yeah, okay. All right.
But I think because he was trying to give the people what they wanted. They wanted to see him just a little more conditioned, right? And his plan backfired. So
that's my biggest fear with Nick coming up here is that, and I don't want to jinx the guy. I want him to do really well. I want to see him succeed. But I'm afraid that sometimes when a guy doesn't look good, that they aren't sharp enough, that they end up overcorrecting. I still want to see Nick coming into the Arnold being like big freaky Nick. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And is it not hard? Would you guys agree that, well, let me rephrase it. It's easier to consistently peak if you have the same coach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're bouncing coaches, it might work out really well.
Yeah.
But you don't, then can you replicate that?
Anyone knows, like, a first-time peak that's perfect, like, that's luck.
It's
like,
very
like
difficult.
you might have like 90% sound method, thought process, and everything, but for all the stars to align, for all the ducks to be in a row, athletes calm, you know, that's a lot of luck on your side, you know. But then when you do it 2, 3, 4 times,
right.
Okay, now that's consistency, that's coaching, that's
I think a good coach gets the first show closer to 100%. I think that's the mark of a good coach.
Yeah.
I say as close to 100% as possible. It's very difficult. And the funny thing, even if you hit 100%, you don't know because it's the first time out with that competitor. You know, you need another show to be able to see if that might not still be better. So you have to be able to contrast them.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got a bunch of listener questions here, guys. I wanted to make sure we got into everything that our listener sent us. I can't remember if we had talked about this at all. I thought Dave and I might have. But have you seen the underground market recovering yet? Did we discuss this on the last week? I can't remember if we had.
I don't think we talked about it.
Yeah, what's your takes on that? Is the market getting any better at this point, with especially like Mast and Primo, and without throwing numbers out there, and you know, you can give us ideas on what you're seeing.
I haven't had to order, so I don't know personally.
Generally, yes. What I'm seeing with people right now is having a little harder time getting Test E. But Primo Mast, you know, in stock. Yeah.
If I have to pick one, I don't see Mast recovering as much as Primo, but that's just what I've seen over, you know, last 6 months or so, even if that.
Yeah.
Are you seeing like exceptionally high pricing on Mast E? Because I've seen it for some sources that like very trustworthy sources. Like if they have it, I believe that that's legit stuff, but we're talking like twice the cost of what they used to have it for.
I mean, it's simple economics, man.
But it is simple economics.
Supply and demand.
I don't fault them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't, maybe a little more expensive, but I wouldn't say double. I would say maybe 1.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's kind of like, I feel like it's kind of like everything after the COVID years. Like prices are just up now. Like that's the new normal. Like whether it's food, whether it's
Serostim.
yeah. I mean, and I think
Like, I'm already paying well. Do you have to go up again? Come on.
we'll put
now.
it this way: once you get a market to pay a certain amount for something, how do you really retract it back? When you're like,
Right.
well, I know people will pay this for this product, so it's like. Maybe they'll we're coming to some surplus. I'll take $10 off a bottle. Are they bringing it back down to where it was 3 years ago? No, like
It has to be good enough. The economy has to be good enough that somebody else comes in and says, I can take all the business by charging less. And I remember seeing that after Operation Raw Deal, that like Test Prop was very triple digits expensive, and you could only get it overseas, and it was going to take a long time to get it. And then one company came in and had everything, and they were selling it for like a third of, like, back to regular prices. So what happened? Everybody
quality?
else got competitive.
That's
right?
where I was going to go. And I know, I'm older, so I'm in a little different position than some people, or I'll just relate it to myself when I was younger. How about that?
Okay.
I don't base my gear on what it costs. And I'm glad that I don't have to, but there was a time I did. I just want to know that I'm getting quality shit.
Yeah.
So I'm a loyal, I'll stay with my source for a long time if it's legit and solid. And you know what? I hope he's not listening, or she. I mean, that was kind of sexist because sources could be female.
Absolutely.
So she,
like Sandra, remember
could
her?
increase those prices and be like, Skip's willing to pay it. What the hell?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, because we had somebody asking about that on the last episode, and like I said, I thought Dave and I thought we talked about that recently, but I wanted to
What was
get
his
your
take?
input on that.
What was his
Basically
take?
the same thing. We're seeing it come back. I'm seeing more availability of Master on propionate than I am of
Same.
Mast E. Okay,
Yep.
And
Actually,
I'm
that's a good
seeing
point.
more Mast E or more Mast P than I'm seeing of Primo still. So yeah, but I am seeing those things, and I noticed that too. We actually had a listener recently who said, "What do you guys think about running Ment as my TRT because I can't get any test right now?" And I was like, "Damn, can't get any test from his source."
Man. Where do you live?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to go for him, but yeah, I've heard that too, though, a little bit of lack of getting test availability right now. Oh, also too, just for our listeners, if you guys see repeated mentions of any brands in our chat, in our live, or in the comments, there's a good chance that that's fake, because I've had to ban. There will be a source that finds our content. They know it's gear related, right? And then they'll have like 30 people will comment, and like all the old shows will have 30 comments on them each. They're all bots, and it's like, I'm not gonna cap. X brand has been hitting different lately. And then the next guy's like, I got melanotin from X brand. It's the best I ever used. So all that kind of stuff. So just a heads
Gotcha.
up. Don't trust that stuff, guys. Question for the
Pretty
next
hard to
show.
fake melanotan, by the way.
Yeah, that's
Not
true.
even worth it.
Right?
Not even worth it.
I mean, damn.
You ever notice how every influencer suddenly has their own supplement company? One day they're doing cable crossovers, the next they revolutionized sports nutrition. It's interesting timing. And somehow every formula has like 47 different ingredients, but only 3 grams total per serving. Amazing. That's why I like True Nutrition. They don't sell hype, they sell ingredients. You want creatine? Buy creatine. Take a full dose. Take 5 grams. Done. You want citrulline? Buy citrulline. No pump matrix needed. No proprietary blends. No underdosed fairy dust. No paying for someone's social media budget. They manufacture in-house, sell pure, single-form ingredients, and they let you build your own stack like an adult. Because bodybuilding isn't complicated. Lift heavy, eat right, know exactly what you're taking. TrueNutrition.com. Use our code THINK to get 10% off and support the podcast. Less influencer magic, more actual supplements.
What are your thoughts on living the bodybuilding lifestyle just because you freaking love it, and without having the aspect of competing? This would be like having an off season, a diet phase with gear cycles and everything. I specifically want to hear from Scott, Skip, and Andrew.
Well, at least he didn't leave one of us out.
Yeah, I specifically want to hear from Scott and Andrew.
You're right. It's like, okay, I'll be quiet. But what say you, Andrew?
That's kind of what I do, you know. So
I know, right?
I don't see a problem with that anyway. You know, it's for me, like getting on stage just doesn't make sense anymore because the caliber of talent I'm going to be going against, it's just, you know, they're all 10 years younger, you know, 15 years younger. So it's like not worth it at this point. But doesn't mean the bodybuilder in me's dead. You know,
Right.
I still want to diet, try to get bigger, try to, you know, get tighter different times. I will say I definitely ride the middle more than anything now, though, in terms of you're not going to see massive weight swings. I'm not trying to get 300. I'm not trying to, and I'm not also trying to get skin, you know, gone peeled. So more of just, I would say bodybuilding with a health-centered focus as much as possible.
I agree with 95% of what you're saying. The only
for the health
small part that I don't have this parallel with is I don't do it for the health. I try to be I
was
try to be
joking.
healthy.
You meant that.
But I'm saying I'm not going
He's
after
going
it
in.
from a
Yeah.
I am. I'm
Own
not
it.
going at it from a health standpoint. This is a soundbite, right, Scott?
Yeah. Better
Told you
yet,
that guy's giving
it'll
out
be a
bad
reel.
advice.
It'll be a reel.
Yeah, that guy's giving out bad advice. I want to be healthy, but that's not a main motivator. My brain, even at 55, I'll be 56 in less than a month. It is still on full bodybuilder mode. I do accept that the gains are incredibly minimal. I don't want the big weight swings either, arguably because of the health.
Yeah.
But equally as much as I know that even pushing that limit, I know what that's going to look like, and it's not going. The ROI isn't going to be there. I'm not going to all of a sudden make great gains. But after this year, it was supposed to be last year, but after this year, it's done. I know people are like, yeah, sure it is, but it is done. And I want to just be that old Jack guy, but I will be just as bodybuilding focused, just as regimented with my meals in training as I always have been. That's just my thing. I have this bizarre, I'll call it an insecurity. Touched on it on a show a week ago. I think after all these years, just my perspective, I think that our community is less secure with how we look than fat people at the beach. Fat people
that's
have
facts.
accepted. They're like, you know what? I'm good with it. It's not going to change. Look at me. While bodybuilders are like, oh, I think my stomach's out a little bit. I need to have my arms. Oh,
Yeah.
I need to lean on my arm.
You
There's
got
just
full abs and you still
yeah,
feel
you know,
that
you're
way.
like, oh yeah, I'm fat today. You're not fat, dude. Like, what
Yeah.
are you talking about? We live on a different planet. We're not normal. We're wired differently.
Well, all right, let me just add to that, because isn't it weird some bodybuilders that can be done and just completely turn it off and never go to a gym again?
I know.
Just eat 3 meals of like pizza and whatever else normal people eat and not pay attention to this kind of stuff. 'Cause I always find that weirder than anything. To me, I was always like, did you really enjoy bodybuilding
Yes.
as a bodybuilder, or were you just doing it because you had the genetics and you look good and you could get by, you know?
Right.
And the other thing, because I wanted to touch on what you said before Scott chimes in, I think you said it was what'd you say, like an insecurity?
Yeah.
I don't know if it is, because I think it's something like your physique and your body is something you have control over. Just like for me, I can't really operate in my office until it's in order. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like so for 2 weeks when it was like in disarray before I had, you know, everything the way I wanted it, I could work, but I didn't feel settled. You know what I mean?
I do.
Whereas now, I Skip, I know you do. But like now it's like I'm at peace. I can just work, and it's like cleaning your room, keeping everything organized, keeping anything organized. You have control over that space, and I feel like your body is your space. I don't think we can just turn that off. So I wouldn't say it's an insecurity. I think it's just like, this is proof that to myself and the rest of the world that I'm an organized and I have a structure or a code that I live by, you know?
I don't disagree with that. And that's the way I want to look at it.
Yeah.
Because I do agree with you. I'm like, when things are on and I have control of I'm at peace. It's almost therapeutic in its own way. I think maybe I should phrase it this way. I question the insecurity component of it. I know why I got into it, and it was certainly insecurity, but that's 14-year-old insecure. So there are times where, I don't know if you guys do this. Do you ever bump into not old people, but old friends, and they ask you about bodybuilding? I know I have done this, and maybe you guys don't do this, but I've thought, I wonder if they think I've just not grown up. Seriously, like I don't have a grown-up job. I don't have a, I do things that they can't relate to, and I'm just different. But I still do the same things I did when I was a teenager. I could care less to go out. I just want my meals, my training. I want everything in order.
Yeah.
I think when they see me in my attire, when it's usually just gym clothes 24/7, you know what I mean? Like sweats or, because it's very rare. Like one day a week I wear jeans and a shirt that you actually have buttons on. You know what I mean? So
Andrew, that is exactly why I have gone into wearing nicer clothes, watches. I want to separate and get away from that. Not to deny it, but to get away from it so that I am perceived as normal when I'm around other people.
But here's the thing, 90% of the time we're not around normal people. And the other people we are around, it's in a gym setting. At least for me, my only contact with the outside world is in the MI40 gym for 2 hours. And then it's back in the car, back to here. You know what I mean? Scott, you work from home too. So it's like same thing, right? Like it's, and you don't even have to leave the house to go to your gym. You walk into the next room.
This is it, guys. This is it.
You could get up naked and sit there and do your work. And then walk into the gym naked and train if you wanted to that way.
Day, I'll throw some other clothes on just to, spice it up a little bit. I'll say this, guys. So I think that, I think sometimes our listeners have seen a divide where we're saying like, this is the concepts for contest prep and for a competitor. And they think that we're saying at times, it used to be, I think they understand it now that, listen, if you're just lifting weights, period, to try to grow muscles, you are a bodybuilder. Like even you might not be a great bodybuilder, you might not be doing anything with your nutrition, but you're still a bodybuilder. Like that, there's nothing to disqualify you from being a bodybuilder if that's what you want to be, and that's the actions that you're taking. So I'll say that. How is it different now for me versus competing? Like I was never a great competitor, and I figured that out within a short period of time. Like of course, like first couple shows, and then I moved from middleweight to light heavyweight. And then I was like, yeah, maybe this is just going to keep going. You know what I mean? I'm in my 30s, but who knows? I might have genetics. I can't. We'll see if I get my pro card, But then you figure out shortly after that for me, that wasn't going to be in the cards. I still wanted to like push and do everything I freaking could to be my best. Gear-wise, that's the big difference. I'm not going to want to take as many risks. And that's my own state. There are people out there who maybe but I've also done it. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if for some people, because we do have guys that are like, listen, I'm never competing in my life. I'm taking 3 grams. I'm like, that doesn't work for me. But I've also pushed the gear in the past when I could justify it for myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I guess my question to you guys is then like, is to Andrew really, because you're not there yet, Skip. Andrew, I know you're on the same page more or less that like you're not running the gear like you did before, No,
like half, like not less than half,
Yeah.
My goal is to have near perfect bloods almost 365 days a year.
Yeah.
So if that means using a quarter of what I used to, then that's kind of what it is,
Yeah.
Here's the other thing, because like, I think we're all pretty smart, and we knew early on, as much as you like to dream a little bit, like we knew, okay, 2 or 3 years into this thing, we don't have the gene.
You got a pro card, man. Let's not take away. And I know you'll say
exactly.
it was
You're kind of next level compared to.
But here's what I'm trying to say. None of us woke up and had the kind of gains that Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, anybody, even a lot of these. That like Flex Magazine says if I do this workout 5-day split and if I eat these meals, I'm gonna turn into one of these guys. Like we learned after like a year or two, like, okay, that's just bullshit. Like we can progressively get stronger, get bigger with progressive eating, somewhat progressive drug use and just sound bodybuilding practices, and that's gonna be enough for us. So yeah.
And if
it's a hell of an investment. I'm sorry, Scott. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you hear us talking about like, less gear, that's because we all have run more. Like if it was possible to turn pro by just taking more, I would be a pro right now. This is just the facts.
There'd be a lot of guys that are pro right now.
Very true.
I mean, how many times have you gone to a gym and you see like the biggest guy you've seen in like a long time who pretty round delts and like, you're like, man, this guy must be somebody. Hey, what show you doing? Oh, I don't compete. Never have. And you're like,
Yeah.
because there's
I
a
don't want
lot
to.
of,
It's not my thing.
yeah, not my thing. There's a lot of guys that take a lot of drugs and live the bodybuilding lifestyle without ever once thinking about getting on stage. It's just not, they might think that wearing the little, trunks, that's a little, or whatever it might be, but it's just not their thing. But they live the bodybuilding lifestyle, and more power to them.
I just say the investment to be mediocre, it's a big investment.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying
Yeah.
just financially, but time and
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
sacrifices that you make and want to make in your life, that sometimes from the outside it's kind of, it can be perceived as silly. And I used to think, oh, that's terrible, you don't understand. No, you do understand, and it is odd.
Yeah.
But you have to love it.
It is.
Whether you're pushing it
Sure.
with gear or not, like you said, the commitment, you have to love it. So, and that's where I think you are a bodybuilder, whether you compete or not, whether you place well or not, you're a bodybuilder if you want to be one.
Yeah. It just shows that you like the journey more than the all-in being result.
I wish
Which is
all my
more of an
clients were
old
that way.
school, last generation thing versus a new gen. It's not a blanket statement.
Yeah.
But let's be fair. It's the next generation is trying to get to that finish line as quickly as they can, and I don't think they enjoy the process and the journey as much as the old heads. And we
I think
prove it
the
by
finish
continuing to
line
do it.
was a lot further away. You know what I mean? 20 years ago,
True.
too.
True. Good
Yeah,
point.
but also, because of Instagram and other social media, it's opened our sport up to so many people that never would have seen it before, and then thus
True.
it's opened up people saying to people with good genetics, or they look pretty good in the gym when they're younger, hey, you should really try this bodybuilding thing,
Right.
without them coming to it on their own. Like, we all came to bodybuilding completely organically. We're
You had to
walking
find
by,
it.
yeah, we're walking by, the newsstand. You see that Flex magazine. You're like, who's that? And what is that? And then you open up. You're like, there's more guys like this. Like, I want to be like that. Or you see, the Arnold movies, or you see Rocky movies, and you're like, that's muscle. Like, I want to build that. How do I do that? And even if you don't really know, I got to eat more. I should probably eat some chicken. I should probably eat some protein. I should lift some kind of weights. And maybe your training's horrible early on. You're just doing curls and dumbbell presses and stuff like that, because that's all you have in your house, right?
Yeah.
But you inherently kind of know, and you gravitated towards the sport because it called you in, not because some guy said, hey, you could probably turn pro in a couple of years if like you worked at that thing. And I'll tell you what, I'm probably as guilty as any other person when I see someone with good genetics, and I might say, hey, you ever thought about competing? Like, you got a nice physique, man. Like, you should really consider this. And without them coming to it organically, like, that's what I want to do,
Some of those people want to hear that too. Maybe they don't think they're very good, and they hear that from someone like yourself, and it builds a little bit of confidence. Like, yeah, you know what? I've been thinking about that, but I didn't want to say anything because I didn't, I didn't know if I was good enough.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah,
something
for
else
sure.
here that I wanted to bring up to you guys. Did you guys see Dr. Marv's comment in the last episode talking about exercise and hematocrit, cardio and hematocrit?
I did, and
I
that's
think
why
I did. Now I
commented. I'm
can't
like,
remember.
This one won't get any attention. People
So-
will gloss right over this.
So the way I'm going to say it is I feel like both of us were right. There's two
Yeah,
sides
that's
of
what
it.
I thought too.
Number one, cardio does increase red blood cells, red blood mass. Number two, cardio does reduce hematocrit. So there's both, and it's the same reason that Scott was thinking that it increases plasma. So. And specifically, like, the best for it is slow, steady state. Because I talked to Marv about it, too. And he was like, dude, you must have done... So just to recap for anybody who didn't see the show, the topic was cardio and hematocrit. Will it bring your hematocrit down? And my situation was that my hematocrit was like 57 point something. I dropped it to 50.1 in 4 weeks through making a few small changes, including adding cardio in. And you guys were saying, well, I think that it raises red blood, right? So the reason that whole deal, Marv was saying, like, you must have done a lot of cardio. It wasn't a lot. And it turns out, looking into it a little bit further, slow, steady state, like list cardio, is going to be ultimate for being able to raise that plasma without, you will raise red blood count, but it's not as much as if that cardio gets more intense. So it starts to shift toward not being as beneficial. And then the other thing I saw was that cardio, although your red blood count goes up, that the red blood cells are of a better quality, that it gets rid of the older, less robust.
They die off.
Yeah, they die off more rapidly, so you have like fresher, younger red blood cells that are more productive at carrying oxygen.
Did you check that point that he mentioned? He brought it up to me, and he's like, I was thinking about posting on, but I don't like to jump in there. I'm like, no, put your comment in there. I found it fascinating about the runners.
Was that?
The impact of the heel on the ground.
Oh, I didn't see that he said that.
Kills red blood cells. And I'm like,
but I did see
wait a
that
minute.
too. Yeah.
Then I thought, oh, wait, it makes sense. The circulation of the blood. Because I'm like, you're going to have dead red blood cells on your heels. This is what my brain initially went to. I'm like, duh. There's a circulation going on. That impact kills red blood cells. That blew my mind.
Yeah, the harder the foot strike.
Exactly. I found that very... Now, we're not out pounding the pavement, with running. At least I would hope not. Well, I know I'm not. That's bad on knees and lower back. If I had to run after somebody, if they took my wife's bag, I'd be like, bro, just take it. I'll call the cops. I'll put it in
buy
a
another
report.
one.
Yeah, I'll call my insurance company. I'm not dealing with this shit.
What about fighters, MMA?
I thought the same thing. Like if they're getting hit, is
a lot of
that
striking,
also...
a lot of wrestling, a lot of pressure. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
So
Interesting, though.
I thought that was interesting. What else do we have here? We had a guy who mentioned the idea of using what was that? He says came across a podcast. This guy mentioned GH plus Tesamorelin, but 6 units of GH every other night, and then Tesamorelin every other night. And he said it sounds like a good idea. He said Big Paul did a deep dive, kind of, on GH and every other night, helping with side effects. And that way also the Tesamorelin would pump more out naturally, every other
more natural
night.
GH.
Yeah. What are your guys' takes on that? And Skip, I know our early episodes, oh man, how many shows did we do on every other day growth, 3 times a week growth? It was like, dude, it was mind numbing.
Well, I think S2H really impacted a lot of people to take a closer look at, especially if they had blood glucose level issues.
Yes.
But that's been a while.
10 years, dude.
I was thinking the same thing, 10, 12 years, yeah. And it's not as common these days. It's kind of like that's kind of faded and in favor of the everyday dosing. I want Andrew to give his opinion on Tesamorelin in general, and like contrasting or using it every other day with growth hormone before I do. It's not going to impact my opinion, but I want to hear what you think.
Yeah,
first.
You just want to piggyback off what I'm going to say.
I'll give it first if you want.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. I have Tesamorelin built into some people's plans. More, I think I shared with you guys kind of the receptor upregulation and, like the post-show plan that I put people through, where we're probably pulling growth hormone back for a while. In the scheme of things, Tesamorelin's kind of like a GHRP, Ipamorelin. It's not GH. Okay, you're not getting the same output as you would if you're taking 4 units. But what I do with a lot of people is, if we're not completely pulling their GH, we're going to do Tesamorelin some point before bed, and I have them bring their GH with them up to bed, and about an hour and a half later, whether they need to set an alarm and wake back up or just take it right before they close their eyes, they take their GH at that point, because we don't want to add exogenous GH when we're trying to produce an increase in endogenous GH, right? And one of the benefits of Tesamorelin is that it's actually helps with insulin sensitivity, whereas GH goes the other way. So
does it really?
Yeah, I've seen some stuff on that.
Okay.
So that's,
Well, you're kind of leading me to think there might be, because I just had written it off, honestly, thinking it's another secretagogue.
Here's the thing, though, and I think we can all agree with secretagogues, peptides. It's so individual on your experience with them and what you get out of them.
True.
Just like any PED. So some people do really well with them. Some people, like I remember 15 years ago, before I really had GH sourcing, I was the one that was taking Ipamorelin and CJC Nodac like 6 times a day, trying to time it out perfectly between meals. That's a hell of a... it's a pain in the ass more than anything, you know. If you think taking one shot a day is a pain in the ass, try doing 6 timed around your meals while you're trying to personal train people on the floor. And I got to run the bathroom real quick, you know. I remember one person walked in on me, and there's a quick one. So instead of putting it in the muscle, I would put it in the vein, because I'm like, oh, I only got 10 minutes before I can eat. I need to just put it. I need to get it right in my system, and I need to get my brain.
Soundbite.
Yeah. and he walked in, and he just kind of barged into the bathroom that I was in. He's like, "Bro, what are you doing?" I'm like,
I'm not doing illicit stuff, guys.
"It's peptides, man.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any of the bad
say
stuff.
it.
Yeah, I'm not doing the H word. I'm not doing the." And he's like, "Can I get some?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll show you how to do it." You know.
When Scott said illicit compounds, I'm like,
you know where I was going with that,
he doesn't
right?
want me to say it. I won't say it.
Yeah.
You know illicit compounds, right?
Yeah.
My
Funny
thoughts
how
on Tesamorelin, honestly, I'm not saying that there's not value there, and I agree with you that individually there can be, some people can respond well to it, others not. I just think if you're using GH, I personally don't add it. If you're going to come off of it, you're going to come down either completely off or maybe very low dose. I can see that could be a possibility. I'm not a big fan of it. I just think that GH is so readily available that if you can take GH, take GH. I'm not going to say how many units, because that'll end up a soundbite, and then I'll have fat coaches in the comments destroying me on my dolphin gear and everything else. By the way, I just want to point out that if you thought that my pop mic didn't match my orange, I was waiting for the sun right here on my shoulder.
Oh, and then it's gonna wow.
It took a minute, but I got
magical.
there. Yeah.
That's magical. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm with you guys 100%. I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't personally seen the results of Tesamorelin, and I understand it's newer, but I have seen so many people spend literally thousands and thousands of dollars in secretagogue peptides, and it's just never been as effective as growth. I think the majority of places I've seen it promoted are either number one, through a TRT clinic that can sell it, or number two, somebody who has a YouTube channel that's promoting it for their own benefit. Those are the two main places. I don't have many conversations with bodybuilders in the competitive world, people who are pushing that are saying like, oh yeah, man, you know what really made a difference for me this year was this particular secretagogue. Like it's just never been that way. So I'll say that, is it possible that it's beneficial? Absolutely. How beneficial? I just make sure you vet your sources on where you're getting the information about this stuff.
Can we agree that the top guys are not using Tesamorelin?
I mean, some of them have peptide deals. They're
that
getting it
may
for
be.
free,
But at the end of the day, I mean, and look, I understand if people are like, well, this one's more healthy, this is healthier, so I'll go this route. Oh, okay, and that's fine. And for those people that have used it and they respond well to it, I don't have an issue with what people do. Yeah. We try to give responses or answers and opinions on things for the vast majority of people, but we can't cover everybody's individual situation. So play with it. If you're interested in it, see how it works. At the end of the day, you'll probably be like, yeah, I think I'd rather spend my money on growth hormone.
And also to address Paul's thing about, and I think S2Hs, as you guys alluded to, yeah, it's kind of common sense. If you take something every other day, you're going to have less side effects. Right. So that's kind of a common sense thing for me.
Yeah. I had a hard time with it. I just like doing it every day. I understand that the fat loss that you get from that, specific dosage that you take of growth hormone, it's not going to be a massive game changer, but I still wanted it. I still wanted to know that like the GH is helping me burn fat every day kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's a good point too, because a lot of people will take the Tesamorelin because, it gets rid of visceral fat. Like, it increases endogenous growth hormone, or you could take exogenous growth hormone. Like, bro, you almost get the impression that people think that is better for losing visceral fat. I'm like, you're talking about what, max, the average person, 2 pounds of visceral fat, and you're never going to get rid of it all of it. You're talking about a pound, maybe a pound and a half. Get lean.
Yeah,
You'll get rid of visceral
cardio
fat.
does that too.
Yeah, I mean, come on. It's not like your body is going to all of a sudden burn subcutaneous fat, and then you're going to be like, I got 6 pounds of, of visceral fat. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what else we got here. Somebody in the stream, what do you say here? Well, we were asked too earlier on, are we you guys are not going to the Arnold, correct?
No.
No.
No. I haven't decided yet. I may go. So
I can tell you this: if you guys would have said you were going, I'd have been there with bells on.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna go and deal with that Ohio climate and nothing to do outside of the There's nothing to do in that town.
Yeah.
So no. But if you guys are going, I'd go. We had a lot. I'll speak for me. I had a lot of fun in 2019 when we went, Scott. That
was a blast, dude.
I really did. I had a good time. I'm just hoping you guys are going to go to the Olympia because I will go if you go, but I'm not going if you don't.
I try to only go to shows that I have athletes in. It's just
I hear you.
well, because here's the thing. I think last year we traveled 21 weekends. I mean, that's a lot.
Sure.
So it's like if I could literally have a whole day to be home and do stuff and then watch the show with Rachel and a couple friends locally on my couch, I'm going to do that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to save $4,000 or $5,000. It's like
I don't care about the show. I just want to go and have fun, and I'm not going to have fun. My wife is not going to hang out with me. She's going to go have drinks at the bar. She'll take a friend with her, but I would hang out with you guys because I would find it fun. I'm just saying, if you do go, please tell me.
So come to the Tampa this year. It's a drive for you.
What's the date?
August 5th or 6th.
That could be,
Come to that.
That would be fun.
I'll have 2 or 3 people doing that. That'll be fun. Or come to New York Pro. That'll be a good one.
What's the date on that?
May 3rd.
Nah, not gonna happen.
No.
I don't travel when I'm locked in. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, you don't like to travel either all of a sudden, huh?
Yeah,
Skip?
exactly. when I'm dieting though and stuff, it gets really stressful and I get very
Well, that's the other thing. I hate traveling because it takes me off my plan. No matter how much I plan and try to bring all my stuff, work is always going to come first. And when you get to the hotel and it's already 8 o'clock at night and I've only had 3 meals, but I also have 30 check-ins to do, guess what? My ass is going right to the computer because I feel an obligation to those people. They've already paid me. It's like my job, you know? And I'll try to half-heartedly, eat a meal like quickly while I'm doing it, and then I'll eat again 2 hours. It just doesn't feel the same. I miss my cardio. I miss some training. It's not fun, not as fun.
So you don't tell your clients, bro, I had to train. It's
no,
crazy.
Man. And here's the thing. This always bugs me when I hear about coaches. I hear stories. And actually, this is, for anyone that doesn't know, I do have a website coming out very soon. It should have been ready already this week called ratemycoach.biz, where you can talk about your experience. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's like 90% done. But
Nice.
I just need the guy to put it over the finish line, where you can rate your coach based off response time, knowledge, how they peaked you, just your overall experience with them. And you can put it in your own words. But anyway, it drives me nuts when I hear these stories of like, well, I didn't want to bother him. Like what'd your coach say? Why are you asking me? Ask your coach. Oh, I didn't want to bother him. He's on the road. It's like, yeah, but we work when we're on the road, whether we're at home.
And you're paying him, not me, bro.
Yeah. Now you're making it my problem. And honestly, I would be upset if someone was asking someone else when I'm working with you. So it's not my job. Tell your coach and maybe hold your coach to a higher standard if they're not getting back to you in a timely manner.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. 250 test. Is that an adequate amount to try? That was in the live stream from Nathan.
Say again?
250 test. Is that an adequate amount to try?
Well, I mean, with the lengthy amount of information you gave us, I mean, I can give you an exact answer, and that exact answer is maybe.
I think if you're if you're over 30 and you have, let's just say you have very low testosterone levels, obviously that's a TRT dose, and that's about all I can say on there. Will you benefit from it? Yeah, you'll definitely benefit from it if your testosterone levels are low. Is it going to be a banger? No, but I'm not going to tell you what
take you out of range.
It'll end up on a reel.
It'll take you out of range, I bet. But is it worth it then? I'm assuming, yeah, because like you said, Andrew, we don't have a lot to go on. So I'm going to say I'm assuming that he's never used anything. So if he goes from using nothing to using 250 tests, I bet you that it's going to take him up out of range. It's also going to shut down his natural production. So is that worth the trade-off? I'd want to go a little bit higher. That wouldn't be that wouldn't be like my minimum
years old?
dose.
Like,
That's what I'm wondering.
19 years
18
old
or 40?
Because it's like, don't waste your time, dude. Ride the natural testosterone surge that you're having right now.
Right.
Are you 45 years old and you're probably testing out somewhere in the 450s to 600s? Yeah, 250 is probably going to bring you up into that 900 or 1100 nanograms per deciliter range. You're definitely going to see more gains out of it. But if you're a young guy, I don't think 250 is going to do much for you in terms of the conversion into your bloodstream.
I think if you're going to take 250 milligrams of testosterone, I would implore you to you have to find out what your test levels are. I had a friend who was 48 years old, flight attendant, super cool guy, 850 testosterone score.
Yeah.
Who at 48 has an 850? I mean, that's pretty damn good. So I wouldn't tell him to take two. I'm like, bro, you're not going to really notice the difference between 850 and 12 or 1300. It's just not going to be this wow like it would be if you were 400 or 300 and you were kind of in the tank at that low normal or low range. So I wouldn't take a dose like that without knowing what my testosterone levels were.
Yeah, I think no matter what, learn what your test levels are would be a smart move. You know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Otherwise,
care how
if you're
old
just
you
going to
are.
guess, take more. Because otherwise,
Well, the lolly says here 1250 test. Is that adequate?
I think that's what he's doing right now, actually.
That's awesome.
All right. Oh, we were also asking, I thought you guys might have some insights to share too. Where are people getting these $20 labs? I was mentioning, I think it was Estrogen from Merrick. I don't have any affiliation with them.
Oh.
In fact, you know, there's yeah, I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, $20 for
AlgoreX.ai. Or another one.
Yeah. What is it?
You know that one? AlgoreX. You can get a full panel, all hormones. You can add cortisol, HSCRP, vitamin D, and all the male markers for $300. They have a 10% off coupon when you jump on the site. If you put your email in, they'll send you one. So it's like $270 for. Honestly, if you were to go to Merrick, the labs would be like $450.
Okay. Huh.
Can I say?
And I don't have a code with either of them.
This is going to sound like a plug, and I'll be very quick about this. But I've had several, maybe many, clients use Merrick over, say, the last year, and I gotta give them props because they really are quite in depth, and they're not rigid on you have to do this and you have to get this from us. And I've been really surprised by that.
So are you talking about? Because I'm talking about just a la carte labs. I want
Yeah,
to
you're
get just
talking about
estrogen.
just labs. Yeah.
Are you talking? You're talking about getting like TRT service from them.
TRT service, which obviously involves the
Peptides.
labs and everything else. I guess I was just surprised.
Not a fan.
Of Merrick?
Yeah, not
Okay,
of their
fair
TRT
enough.
service. They are greatly gouging prices.
Oh, they're
So you've had a different
very
experience,
expensive.
Skip.
Sorry, I don't know why we don't have a TRT code. We don't.
I know, right? I'm not sure.
Sorry.
Kind of odd.
Yeah.
Because we're honest. That's why.
Yeah. All right. We have a bunch of other stuff here. What about monthly subscriptions for labs? Anyone try that yet?
No. I mean,
Monthly is
labs as I need
overkill.
them.
yeah, you don't need them every month.
I wait a couple months to find out if I'm going to die.
Well, unless they're saying you pay $100 a month and then you get labs 4 times a year, you're just breaking up the payment, maybe, or are we talking about like no, you literally
No,
get your
yeah,
labs
like
done
I
every
think
month?
there's just so many subscription services nowadays, Andrew. Like, you know, you buy these nicotine pouches and they're going to send you 3 more boxes of them every month. You get a discount by 5% if you do that, but I think in the end, man, I would rather buy anything when I need it versus get on a subscription service unless it was a massive savings.
Do you guys do this? I do this all the time. I sign up for Amazon subscription, subscribe and save, just to get that $3 discount
I
for
never
like
did
that time, and then I cancel it 5 minutes later after I get it.
I didn't
do
know
it
that was a thing.
every time.
I have a son-in-law who is a master, an absolute master at buying things off of Amazon. It's like it's a joke inside of the family that he buys things and then returns them. He'll return a Christmas tree because
see, I don't do
knows
that.
he
I don't do
knows
that.
the system. I'm just like, and his response is this, and he's a great guy. He's a great guy, but his response is, the system is what the system is. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. If they don't take my tree back, then I guess they don't take my tree back. But they take it back every single time.
So
I'm
every
like,
year
oh my
he
God.
borrows a Christmas tree every
He
year.
borrows it. He borrows. He will do things like they're gonna have like let's say a graduation party. They'll get lights and all the thing and everything else. Wrap those lights back up and send them back 3 days later, and they refund him. I'm not saying I approve of it. It's just
But here's
funny.
the thing:
I don't
is that's
approve
what
of that.
drives
I'd
the
have to
cost
call
up
him
for
a
everybody.
scumbag.
Things like that drive the cost up for everybody.
Yeah, it
Makes
really does.
makes good money, all that. I'm like, if you were broke, I could understand that. But like when you say $3, look,
Dude,
I'm
you're
not
cheap.
loaded, but I just don't give a shit about $3. I just don't care.
He's ruining it for everybody else. That's the way I see
Well,
it.
and that was my argument too. But like I said,
There's a
he's
guy
a good dude. Other than that thing, I'm like, dude, and
There's
it's
some
an
guy
inside
who-
joke. Like you're gonna return it.
This guy thought he was screwed over or something by Amazon, so he started ordering this anvil that weighs a ton, and then he'd have him send it out, and then he'd freaking return it, and then he'd buy the same anvil again, and send it back and return it because he's like,
But they wouldn't allow him to return it because of the weight cost for the shipping. So they had him. He would be able to keep them, and then he
Is
would
that what it
sell 'em.
was?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah, they wouldn't. They were just like, just keep it, and he would sell them and make the money on them. He built this small business on this.
Jesus, that's what the story was. Okay.
And part of it is kind of funny because it's like, well, this is what the system created. Like you're making so much money that you just don't care about these massive losses. Yes, the prices probably are in some way, we're affected by that. But let's be fair, when you buy something you can buy anything on Amazon. I just bought, I'm not gonna say specifically what it was, but I have been doing my due diligence on luggage. My wife has this thing where she buys cheap luggage, and I'm not kidding. We get to the airport, the Donald J. Trump airport here in Palm Beach, which is very rich and very richy and very pretentious, and her wheel falls off. She's got 3 wheels. Finally, I'm like, I am buying the luggage. So I did my due diligence. I bought her just top high-end, bought it on Amazon. Was actually scared because I'm like, this is expensive shit. If it doesn't show up, like, I don't know, man. I got to prove that I received it, that type of thing. But you can pretty much get anything. And I did not pay any different for that bag on Amazon than I would have through their actual site. So I don't know.
Surprised it wasn't cheaper. Surprised it wasn't cheaper.
That's what I thought too. Exact same price though, from the website to Amazon. But I got it in like 2 days versus a week. So I went back and I got another one.
I had a package delivered to my backyard the other day.
A backyard?
Dude, I thought our neighbors are kind of weird. So I thought, like, did it accidentally get delivered to their house? And they're so passive aggressive, they didn't walk it over to my house. They just threw it in the backyard. So I'm freaking steaming about this. Like, I'm going to go over and talk to this guy. And then me and Rachel are talking about it. She's like, I think that might be something they would do. They're so weird. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Is that Amazon drone thing activated yet? And she looked it up. She's like, you know what? They just activated our market, and it probably was delivered in the backyard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I think that's awesome. They're delivered in your backyard because it's all gated and everything. Like,
I haven't seen a drone yet. Have you guys?
No, I'm just worried about people trying to shoot them down.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, we got a
ruin it for
super
everybody.
chat, guys. We got a super chat.
He's like, let's get back on topic.
I didn't even see it. And then he asked,
He looked like he was
hey.
looking for something.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
was
He's
like,
I
hey,
gotta
are
get
you
back on
guys
topic.
not responding to super chats? And I'm like, no, send me money, please. Send me money.
Yeah.
So he
Where is
said
it?
he said $4.99, and he said
No, where is it? I can't see it.
I had to go. So our program apparently doesn't show super chats. So
That's why.
the old program did. So
Okay.
I actually had to go on to actually view the show on my other computer, and I see it. And it's somebody Andrew. He said he did a consultation with you a couple Fridays ago. His name is Luisto, and he says, had a consultation with you 2 Fridays ago, Andrew. You suck. No, he said.
I was waiting. I'm like, I hope it's good.
600 test, 200 EQ, put my E2 at 15. Did an ultra sensitive test. Adjusted to 750 test and 150 EQ. What are your thoughts?
Not a bad move. I mean, but he hasn't checked it yet.
Yeah, no, well, he just made this change, apparently,
Yeah. But the 600 and 200 put him at what?
600, with 200 was at 15.
Okay. So, I mean, it maybe brings him back up to 30.
750 at 150 EQ.
Yeah.
So, I wonder, was he having any issues, with I'm not saying 15's awesome estrogen, but, was he having issues there, and is he having issues now? That would be, I'd want to know, what is actually happening here? Or is it just that you just tested and you're like, holy crap, my estrogen's low?
I mean, I would be worried with an estrogen of like 15 if I'm training hard. I'm at risk for hurting my joints, possibly tearing something. I'm also worried about heart health and brain health, and then I'm also worried. Yeah, and then I'm also worried about how's my mood. Am I apathetic? Am I just kind of down versus my normal self? And that's something that maybe a spouse or someone else could tell you.
You haven't gone to the. I mean, let's be fair. You haven't gone to the dick yet.
I was gonna say libido is the first thing.
I mean, come on, dude. That's like the first thing because people know right away.
I'm trying to remember, and I mean, I didn't want to be like, yeah, he told me no, but I don't remember him even mentioning that as being an issue. So I'm kind of remembering. I'm sorry, I can't remember what I did yesterday. So it's like,
exactly.
You know, but I do remember having a conversation now. I don't remember that being like one of the things that was an issue that we talked about. So I'm sure the topic came up, but it wasn't. I don't remember it sticking out as an issue.
Yeah,
nice that Scott put you on the spot with that question there without giving you a heads up, though.
What else am I supposed to do?
Let's not do that in the future, Scott.
Well, he just was
no,
asking,
I don't think there's anything wrong with that because
he was just asking about the, with this adjustment, what do we think?
No, I'm saying because he didn't remember the conversation. That's all. Or
I mean,
he didn't have to say that.
I know. That's a good point. Yeah. You could.
Well, no. Here's the thing, though. Like, I mean, dude, I don't remember the consults I had last week.
No, I know. I totally.
And it's not because I don't care. It's just because like you do 5-6 a week on top of your 100 check-ins, and it's like every day kind of blends into the other day. You know what I mean? So, and I work 7 days a week.
Like, I don't memorize how many carbs each of my clients is eating. Like, I have to look at the plan, and that's the reason I write it down. It's
I would say if you
something...
pass me on the street, I'm going to get my nails done with my wife, and you're like, hey, what do you think I should drop my carbs? I'm like, I don't know. I don't have my computer in front of me.
Yeah, I want to look at the diet.
I mean, Skip, you don't even recognize Scott when you see him in the elevator.
Very good point.
Good point.
Very good point. I'll hold the door for you. I'll even say hi to you.
For a 45-minute conversation from 3 weeks ago, it's like, no.
Yeah, but I think he's on the right track, though, right? Because 15's not terrible. Like, it's not the end of the world, estrogen.
No.
And I would give it. Let me ask you this, guys. So if that was, say, you guys made that decision, like, hey, let's make this adjustment 2 weeks ago. How much longer would you wait before you checked again to see where his estrogen levels were?
Another 4 weeks, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. Yeah.
Yeah. And if nothing else, you're going to get good insight into what you do with future cycles too. Because let's say that you're 5 weeks in, you run these tests, and now you make this adjustment and you wait another 5 weeks, right? I mean, I'm not saying your cycle's over. You might be running it a lot longer than that. But next time you jump in, you're going to have a much better idea of where you want to start at.
Yeah. And maybe you want to throw 5 milligrams of D-ball in every day.
There you go.
Or 5 milligrams of Testosterone or something that's going to aromatize a little bit for you. Maybe a tiny bit of NPP, Yeah.
And just for anybody who's listening goes, well, you could check. It would change before 4 weeks. It would. But we want to know that it's stable.
Saturation levels, yeah.
Yeah, just so that, it's this now after 2 weeks, but is it stable yet? So you want to wait long enough to be able to go, okay, when I see this, I know that this is going to be this number. It's not on its way up.
Yeah.
How about this one? Competed in Classic and Physique last April. Took the overall in Physique in first in my class in Classic. Wanted to compete at Nationals for the experience, or should I focus on another local show first?
I think it's a good question.
Focus on the local show because you said for the experience, okay?
True.
Let me give you the experience, all right? You're paying a lot more money than the spectators that came to watch you to do the thing to get third call-outs. If your language is, I want the experience, and you don't actively know that you have a physique that's going to be a first call-out physique, you haven't won your show, you haven't won multiple shows, I think it's a waste of time personally. Unless your coach is like, hey, you got the genetics, like, let's go do this thing. I know you're going to keep improving up to that point. I just think wait until you're ready,
Yeah.
I don't disagree, but I'm going to play the other side.
Go for it.
I mean, really, because I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
I think sometimes for some people, the realization of getting your ass kicked on the next level can be very motivating. And I would even add one other thing, because I'm older. You don't know what's going to happen in a year, and sometimes you can miss out on an opportunity that you could be like, God, I just want to, even if you get your ass kicked. But you're right that I think it's better when people go to the national level when they're at the level to be competitive. I do agree with that. But then on the other hand, I think that there are still exceptions and some people can benefit from that motivation of getting their ass kicked because the vast majority of people are going to get an ass kicking and it's going to be a big wake up call like, this is not just next level. This is like different planet shit.
You know what I tell my clients to do that are in that kind of ballpark of this kind of conversation is I'm like, no, we're not doing nationals, but come with us. Like, come as a team. You get to meet the athletes that are doing it. You get to sit there and you get to see what these athletes look like. And you really get to, everyone that does it, they leave motivated. And they're like, okay, like that's the plan for next year. You know what I mean?
Sure. I agree
I think, because here's the thing. You do it, you get to have a little bit more fun and you don't get your ass kicked. And you get to save probably about $1,000 in terms of you don't pay the $350 for the entry. You don't pay the $150 to $175 for the tan. All the other stuff, you could probably stay with one of us.
Possibly even more.
Yeah, exactly. So like my advice is I think you should go to national shows and see what you're getting yourself into before you get on a national show stage.
It's not a bad idea.
It's not. I'm going to say one more thing.
Go for it.
There are still people, even though smaller, that will go and watch it, go home and tell their wives, man, I could have kicked some ass in that. When that's not the reality because you weren't standing up there and you don't know where you would be. Some people are not delusional, but it's almost like you're seeing things how you want it to fit your narrative. Man, I should have done this. I wonder if I'd have gone top 5. No, you'd have probably been in the 3rd call out. So I'm just saying that I'm speaking more of the exception, the small group that sometimes just needs it. But the vast majority of people, I agree with you 100%. I'm not trying to,
I'll say this. I'll add this. So, I think, keep in mind, the guy who sent this in to us, keep in mind we haven't seen your physique. So we're going off of what you said, maybe
absolutely.
you throw your pictures up here, dude, and we're like, oh crap, dude, you look good. So trying to, extrapolate from his message, he wins his class, he wins his physique, men's physique show, it takes the overall there, and he gets first in classic. So he's big enough to be a classic competitor, an open classic competitor at the state level, That tells me that he's probably not a small men's physique guy. So maybe he's got the size. I don't know. But I will say
or
this.
maybe it's the Wyoming Championships. I mean, what show is it?
There's
I'm just saying, is it the
Maybe it's
California
one
State?
of the 3 on July 4th weekend in New York, like
the difference between a state level champion in men's physique and the difference between the guys that are at NPC Nationals is vast. Like the guys that are getting their pro cards in men's physique, like a lot of those guys at that level won't do well at some state level shows because they're told they're too big. That's been happening. That's happened a lot, like guys that are just like, they look so good, they get told because they don't fit in. Everybody else is like this beach
too
bod.
muscular.
Yeah. So you
tell
literally
him
have
to
to
send the pictures.
almost
We'll
look
tell
like
him whether he
fit
should
in.
go or not.
Good point.
Classic too, though, in bikini, all the other divisions, like everyone that you're talking about, the guy you're getting 3rd call-outs, they won their class at probably 1 or 2 shows in the last 2 years. You know what I mean? Like guys in the 3rd call-outs have won multiple shows. So I won a class. Okay, that's great. That's cute. I won a men's physique. Okay, cool. But it's like, it's a whole other animal, man, especially NPC Nationals. You want to go take a stab at Junior USAs or Junior Nationals? I think that might be more appropriate because I don't care what anyone says. The pro card's the same, but the level of talent at NPC Nationals is off the charts compared to the early qualifiers. So I'll just leave it at that.
It is bigger. It is. And hey, if you want to, man, if you're still watching, send your pictures right now and then text me that you did, McNallyDiets@gmail.com. If you want to send them over, dude, we'll get them up on the show today. We had a bunch of other stuff. Any suggestions gear-wise and training-wise for a top of the weight class classic guy now downsizing to men's physique? He's an over 40 competitor. Any help would be greatly appreciated.
Oof. I want pictures. I want to see what it all looks like.
Does he need to lose? Is he too heavy for? Oh no, so he's downsizing. Okay, sorry. Yeah. I don't know.
Let's see the shot from the neck up, too. Seriously. You know why I say that, right? It matters. In open bodybuilding, you can be ugly.
Yeah.
You're not going to be judged against
You can
that.
be
In men's
Sasquatch.
physique, you better look like you belong on a cover.
Better have those pearly whites, too.
That's right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I try to leave people with something. So, I mean, if you have great legs, then maybe stop training them every week. Put more energy into the delts and the chest and maybe whatever your weakness is.
I mean, that's a great move, dude. Because like you still have to have legs nowadays for men's physique. But you could still, like, your legs could still look pretty damn good in shorts and not be bodybuilding level. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But you still got to have like some nice sweep, and the shorts got to be tight.
But you could lose, if you have that classics, like if you have bigger legs, like you can definitely stand to lose some size there and bring that scale down and maybe fit faster.
But he's asking about gear, not training, right?
Training wise. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was specifically gear. I'm sorry.
Less
be
gear. That's
be
my
drier than dry. Like you gotta, men's physique guys that win pro cards, every abdominal, every oblique, serratus, like detail matters. So make sure you get bone dry. But I'll say that when it comes to the gear.
Yeah, and for off season sizing down, less.
What's that? Yeah, maybe less. I don't know though, because I mean, some men's physique guys.
But he's trying to lose. He's got too much muscle now, though. Like I think it's going to be harder to downsize the more, you know what I'm saying? The more gear you're running.
We need pictures.
I want to see pictures to see if he's got too much muscle.
Maybe he doesn't, and he thinks he does.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because let me tell you what, the difference between good classic and good men's physique is like they put on shorts.
I guess you don't have to hit a weight class for a men's physique, so
until you're pro.
Yeah.
So
there's that.
Yeah.
I know if I had it to do all over again and I was 14 today, I'd be like, man, I'm going men's physique. I just think that look is awesome. Not back in the day. Remember when it first started, it was like, okay, anybody who doesn't have legs, you're in the men's physique. You don't have great condition, you're in men's physique. Yeah. It's radically different now.
It's
radically different. I mean, the shorts are just look like they're just tearing apart. They look like spandex, right? Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
It's a really cool look. It's a great look.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. You guys welcome to still comment with questions. We've got a bunch of other stuff, though, too. How about this one? Oh, yeah, just a comment from the last episode. I'm not even going to get into it. It's too dark. I don't want to go dark. One from Patreon. Hey, Scott.
I'm intrigued.
I have an idea for a possible topic for Blood, Sweat, and Gear. Although I think I've already heard this mentioned. Oh, okay, by you and Dave. Okay. The idea of doing a hold phase after an off-season growth phase, or doing a quick mini cut to remove some of the water, fluff, and restoring hunger and sleep. He said, John Jewett recently did a podcast on this on his YouTube channel where he talked in depth about what questions you should ask yourself before you decide to hold or do a 4-week mini cut while the esters clear. What do you guys think?
Well, I'm going to go against the cut part. Unless you're just, and I'm more reactive than proactive coming off of a cut phase. I want to maintain the caloric intake unless body composition is changing or there's some sign of losing insulin sensitivity. And what's the biggest sign? Typically, are you continue to progress in the gym? You're not going to become less insulin sensitive if you're still progressing well in the gym. The other part is what are you taking that you're coming off of? Are they longer esters and they're still tapering down? You've got 5 weeks into your TRT phase that you're going to, you still have blood levels that are tapering. You're going to arguably feel better and could make really good progress without changing anything after you drop the gear down for those first 4 or 5 weeks. So I don't want to cut unless I have to. I want to react to it and see that the client, okay, yeah, let's cut back a little bit. You start cutting back and tapering, water from compounds is going to come off anyway. So I don't like the idea of going into a cut coming off of a cycle. I know he said a hold phase. I'm assuming he means, kind of a maintenance phase.
Yeah.
Where you just throw in the kitchen sink at it during, this growth phase and you look rough. There's a lot of factors here.
Yeah.
I want to feed the muscle. I don't want to cut calories.
I'm with you. As Dante said, what was his term about maintaining the gains? He had a phrase. I'll think of it. I can't. Think
I'd
of
say
it.
cement the muscle in.
Yeah, solidify the gains.
Whatever. Yeah, same idea.
Yeah.
You don't want to immediately do this massive cut without tons of androgens in your system, because guess what? That new muscle is going to be the first to go. So
yeah.
It's almost like spinning your wheels if you do too much. Now, with that being said, are you really fat? Like, did you just overdo it in your blast, whatever you want to call it, push off season phase? Okay, maybe you want to pull the calories back a little bit, lean on the side of conditioning versus fullness. But overall, yeah, I'm kind of with Skip. Like, I don't want to immediately go right into a hardcore diet by any stretch,
Yeah. Yeah, Scott Stevenson had talked about it on an episode of Muscle Minds. I could possibly find the link for him, or he could go back and look. But it was about solidifying the gains and some of the science behind it. He had a great freaking analogy that a city doesn't, when a city expands and builds suburbs around it, they don't just put post offices out in the middle of the cornfields hoping that one day the suburb is going to build up around it. They use the existing post offices, being like your existing nuclei that are controlling everything, that they're not going to, put these post offices in. So basically those things occur under demand, that your body is going to work off of the resources it has as long as it can. And eventually down the road, it will build new infrastructure and those new satellite cells get activated. But that takes time. And that's what that solidifying the gains is all about. So if you pull that food out
pretty good
right away, you don't have the infrastructure to support it, then that muscle is not going to have any reason to stick around. And at the end of the day, our body doesn't want to hold muscle. It's metabolically expensive. It wants to be as economical as possible, right? So it doesn't want to carry 200 pounds of lean tissue.
I'd rather, go right into a maintenance type phase, whatever you want to call it, and then towards the end of that, maybe do a shortcut to get really insulin sensitive for the next blast.
Agreed.
After you've held for a while. Yeah.
After you've held it for a while, whether that's, I've done 20 weeks of, we'll call it maintenance cruise cycles, where you're just solidifying, getting healthy, and then you just trim up a little bit, pull maybe 5 to 10 pounds of fat and water off, and now you're ready to really push it again and ready to eat. Your appetite's through the roof, your insulin sensitivity's great. Now you got a lot of room to play with for a lot of variables. I think that makes the most sense.
Agreed.
Here's a great one. Do you agree that if all other variables are being executed perfectly, you are only as big as you've dosed? If so, how far will you take that dose as long as blood work stays healthy?
I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
At all.
I'm with you.
I don't agree with that.
That's completely relying on and saying it depends on depending on how big you get, depends on the dosages. And I don't like that.
It's basically saying that steroids are the number one factor
Right.
for physique development. And in my opinion, genetics are the number one factor for physique development. And then it's lifestyle habits, such as getting all 6 of your meals in on time, getting the adequate rest, training hard. And then the third factor is steroids. Because I know plenty of guys that have taken steroids that train 2 days a week, ate shit, and they really just were spinning their wheels.
He's saying, though, if all those lifestyle factors, everything, they're all being executed so if you're doing everything perfect, so ideal world, right?
Yeah.
You've got the ideal perfect guy. I'll say this. I think that the sooner you go up, the sooner you're going to want to go up again. Like you ride X amount of gear and then your thought is, I want to do X amount plus more. The sooner you go up, the sooner you do see your labs go sideways. So I think I would assume, I would always err on the side of get the most out of the least, for those reasons, and leave yourself the most freaking room to then continue, because it's not about the short term. It's about doing this for a decade straight, and you can't redline it for 10 years. Like the guys that redline it, we see them, and the guys who are like the loudest talkers about using the most gear, they aren't still doing it, at least not for long.
Or they're not here anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
You know? Yeah, no, I think it's boiling it down too much of the more you take, the bigger you get. And I just don't think that's the case, because the biggest cycle I ever did, I quit it after 3 weeks because I felt like shit. And I wanted to not eat. And so it disrupted those other variables, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think the best thing he's doing is keeping the variables the same, titrating doses up to a point that's manageable, that's not increasing side effects, that's taking away from, you know, staying healthy, being able to execute other variables, the other variables that we mentioned. I think that's the most important thing, because you can't just keep taking more and more gear and expect to grow.
Right.
Like, I mean, I have yet to see someone on a 7,000 milligram cycle. You know, maybe there's someone out there, but
somebody will comment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
well, you know, Big Dave from, you know, but I just have yet
That Russian guy
There's a
or
reason why most people end up in their peak dosages somewhere within a realm of similarity of total milligrams, whether that's, you know, for the high dose, like 2.5 to 3 grams a week. I feel like that's kind of where the majority of big guys end up at the peak of their cycles. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Tanya had a great comment there. She said, muscle only grows so fast, but side effects happen immediately, and it's easy to outpace your growth with the negatives when trying to rush it.
Yeah.
I think that sums it up nicely.
I agree. The only other thing I would add is I think that a lot of people gauge their gains and progress on scale weight. And they feel like, oh, they got the most gains within the first 4 or 5 weeks. You gain the most weight because your body is acclimating to the gear, holding more water and things of that nature. So don't equate progress with the scale. Because the scale can stay the same once you're on cycle or barely be moving, and you can be growing just fine. Hell, you can be recomping for that matter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking of an analogy. You could shoot this one down, and this is where my brain was while you were speaking, Andrew, is, you know, going back to the red line thing, you have F1. We were talking about it earlier. Mm-hmm. You're putting the same fuel, the same amount of fuel in the car. It's running X amount of laps. It pulls in. It does a pit stop. It refuels. Tires are changed. It keeps going. Peak performance is arguably at 100% with those brakes in there. But they're not increasing the gas. They're not changing the gas. They're not all of a sudden using nitrous. It's just those brakes in between that allow that high level of performance, where if they didn't take those pit stops, they're going to blow an engine, blow tires, and it's not going to work. So I don't know that it fits perfectly. Certainly not as good as the post office one. that Scott had. That's a good one.
Yeah, that was a good
but
one.
I can see the connection there, where that's the part of the brakes, and you don't necessarily need to increase or change things. Sometimes you just got to take those brakes and back. That could be training, that could be dieting, that could be gear. So not necessarily having to change what you're doing, but to be able to take those breaks, give the body a break, and come back to it and continue to perform at that 100% performance level.
We got a couple more here. We got a couple more. Let's keep it moving. The more we answer comments, the more people join the stream.
Fair enough.
I increased my test from 300 to 500, and my PSA went slightly above range. Total test went from 1,700 to 2,700. Would you back it down to 300, or is this mild PSA bump expected at higher doses?
And what was the bump?
He went from 300 to 500. Test
I know,
went
what
from
was the number
17 to
PSA though?
2,700.
17 to.
And then
I'm
the
sorry,
PSA.
I'm talking while you're talking.
He just said PSA was mild elevation.
Okay, so he didn't say what it was. I'm gonna have a little fun with this one and say, until you have to reach down between your legs and squeeze your prostate to get the urine to come out, I think you're good. And I prefaced it with I was being funny, so it's just a joke. Small increase. What is the increase? I look at PSA like this. Tell me if you guys feel differently. I'm watching patterns over time. A jump at one point doesn't mean, and I'm not a doctor and I'm not pretending to be one on the internet. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, is it jumping and now getting out of range, and then it's jumping more than that with the next cycle and more than? Right. Yeah, that's something you got to address. You know, is it mildly elevated for a little while and then it's not? Maybe the next time you get tested. Like this one time would not make me, oh my God, I got to change everything I do.
Right.
But patterns, that might make
Yes.
you start to, you know.
Also, too, I'll throw this in there. Did he have? I don't know. Probably we've said enough things. I'll just say it, sex, or anything else. Was there any releases in the last 24 hours? Because if there were, and a lot of people don't know this, that's going to raise your PSA. So you have to.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
So I had a guy who worked with me who came to me like and this was just like an assumed thing. Like I've always had PSA issues, where I've got PSA issues, and so I have to keep that in mind. So I'm operating with him on this, right? And then we get talking about it, and it was one test that he had, and I tell him this, and he's like, "Oh, we retested, and he was fine." But yeah, no, if you have sex or masturbate in that 24-hour period before your PSA test, you will see potentially elevation.
How much? Ballpark? Any? Like,
I'm not enough to be out of range.
Enough they tell you not to do it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That is interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I've seen some places they do that, Andrew, where they give you the instructions, like not to have sex, for 20 hours, 24 hours before, or whatever.
Have you guys ever been on a cycle or taken something and it was clearly getting in the way of your normal urine?
Maybe a little bit. I don't think, but maybe like a 5% where I've been looking for it, and you know what I mean? But it's never been like, oh man, yeah, that's a problem.
Okay, well, I did last year.
Did you?
Oh, really?
Bad. Bad to the point where at a couple weeks out, I'm like, this is clearly the Winstrol. I do not like this dose, but it's 2 weeks out. I'm going to ride. I'll go, and I'm going to be very careful how I say this so it's not creepy. When it really became an issue was you used the word release.
Yes. It was probably like the YouTube friendly term, and then I said the other words anyway.
Didn't feel good. Like,
Ooh.
what the fuck? Like,
That's when you got to
ouch?
change things.
Like, ouch?
Well,
Within 3 days
some people
after
might
the
be
show,
into that.
with 3 days after the show, cessation of the Winstrol, it was 90% back. Another week, it was back to normal. I was like, yeah, there's the ceiling for the Winstrol. Not doing
you
that.
probably had localized inflammation, maybe
Wasn't fun. Was not fun.
prostaglandins causing some increased inflammation. Yeah.
I didn't have to reach down and squeeze my prostate to get the pee out.
We were all wondering.
Yeah, we don't need to know.
I figured you probably were, so I said it.
We've got one guy who says, so I mentioned on one of the True Nutrition ads that I like the cookie butter flavor. He says, Scott, I'm a fan of the cookie butter.
If you like the cookie butter, you should try the cream of rice from Elevate Foods, code Berry 10.
Do they have a cookie butter flavor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of flavors. Cookies and cream, chocolate peanut butter, chocolate, maple and brown sugar.
I don't like cream of wheat. I've just never gone out of my way to get it. And I went to buy a box off Amazon of cream of rice for Victoria, and I accidentally got cream of wheat, and she can't have any wheat. So I'm eating cream of wheat. Now, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I'll put a little bit of stevia in it, and then I just top that off with just a little pinch of salt. And the salt, oh my God, it like takes the sweetness to the next level. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You guys ever do mapo when you were kids?
What is it?
No, that's an old school.
It's an old,
Yeah,
we grew up on mapo because it was like $1
that
cheaper
is.
a box than cream of wheat or cream of rice, or cream of rice wasn't really a thing back then. But no, it's cheaper than oatmeal even.
cocoa wheats.
I don't know those.
That's the chocolate version of
Cream of wheat.
cream of wheat. But yeah, cocoa. I think that's right. Somebody will correct me on that. Some old head, but I think it was cocoa wheats. Yeah. I don't even know. It had you would tear the paper off the side, and then the little metal thing trap door would open. The trap door. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
kind of like a salt container.
Yeah.
And you just pour it out. Yeah. Yeah. We were I don't want to say we weren't poor because I don't want my dad to be like, I listened to one of your shows and you said we were poor, but we were not. We didn't have a lot of money.
Your kids lived a little bit of a different lifestyle than you.
Exactly. Yeah.
They had a few more things going on.
Right.
Hey, check this out. So this is the guy who had said he did classic and took first in his class, and he won the overall for men's physique. And should he go to a national show? This is the only shot. He's like, let me see if I can find that picture. So he sent us just this one shot.
Wait, time out. Let me see as a bodybuilder if I could find that one picture. I call bullshit. Like your phone isn't full
This
of
is his
18
best shot.
shots
This is his
from
best
every angle.
That's a good point.
Flexing in the mirror. Like your girlfriend didn't take 80 shots. Like you didn't buy both the show photography and the extra photographer that was there and the video. I don't buy it, but okay.
And he's going to men's physique, right?
Yep.
He's doing both. He does both.
Damn, I
But
wish
he's
he had
going
like
to do men's physique, I imagine, at nationals. Yeah.
So if there was like even like a front relaxed,
I know the relax would give you a lot better of a to see like what his
the angle
pecs
shot's
look like.
not really helping us. But what's his name? I'll look him up on NPC News.
Yeah.
It is, let's see. Hold on a second. Let me hit stop here so I'm not exposing his email to the public. It is Ricky Gonzalez. He's 5'7", 178 pounds. Right now he's about 200 pounds, 8 or 9% body fat.
I think that's the equivalent of a John Smith. Good luck finding that right away, Andrew.
Yeah. Ricky Gonzalez.
Yeah, it brings me back to a 2010 show. So hold on. Let me try a Richard Gonzalez. Nope. Okay, let me try Rick.
Okay, while you do that, I will look to see what else we have here. Let's see a question here. Thought we had.
You guys can both type. I can't access anything with everything in front of me while I'm.
Really?
I got a separate keyboard.
I got two keyboards in front of me, Skip. How do you feel about that?
Jeez. I've got this amateuristic setup over here.
Skip's like, I can't do anything, but it's all orange. All right.
Yeah, it's all right. I can show you.
The most important thing is covered. All right. See people referencing their questions. If you guys wanted to do, dang it, got taken away from me. If you guys wanted to do questions, okay. How about this one? Okay, it keeps getting taken away from me. I can't find it. Monkey nuts.
Mm-hmm.
While you're doing that, the one thing you got it.
How about this? After using anabolics for around 20 years, is it normal that TRT doesn't touch me until 300 milligrams?
I don't know what touch me means. I mean, like he doesn't.
It's under
I'm not being
Ernest
funny,
Gonzalez.
Got the old bait and switch.
Yeah,
like he doesn't.
Ricky's his middle name.
So he doesn't notice
he doesn't notice. He doesn't notice like he doesn't feel good. He doesn't feel himself. Probably.
Is that just from being on TRT all the time? Or okay.
No, so after running gear and running cycles for 20 years, unless he's on at least 300 tests, he doesn't feel himself.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that.
I think that's common. I think that we get used to androgens, honestly. I don't know how many doctors out there would agree with that, but I feel like we kind of get used to higher androgens. I know I can tolerate freaking way more than I would have been able to. You know, like for me, 300 tests it's a drop in the bucket, but take somebody who's never been on it, put them on 300 tests, it'd be like, whoa, you know?
Yeah, the only thing that I'm thinking of is I compare his situation to mine. I've done a lot of cycles and for a long time. I come down to TRT, I feel like $1 million.
Yeah.
So at least comparing it to my particular, I can't relate to that. Like I can do 225 is 225, maybe 250, but it's usually 225 that I'm TRT, and it's not TRT plus or anything added on to it, and I feel like $1 million. You know, everything from sex drive to mood, and it's just good. So I don't know. I can't. That one I can't. Yeah, I can hear what you're saying, Scott. Where it could change, but it hasn't changed for me.
Yeah, I've seen
I'm
it.
not sure.
I've seen it, and I've heard of doctors who have, or a doctor, I should say, and it's not like a huge cross section of doctors, but I spoke with a doctor who was asking me my thoughts about it, dealing with somebody who had used a lot of gear, and he felt like he just wasn't feeling normal. And I'm talking to other people. I think it's not that super uncommon, you know. But
Okay, how
I
about
can't
that? It's a
explain
test
why.
estrogen ratio might be different at that same dose versus. I mean, that's about the only thing I can think of. I mean, it's not like your body isn't going to sense or use the testosterone. So I would think that maybe the test to estrogen ratio is different than it was years ago, maybe when he was down to TRT in between cycles. I mean, that's my best guess. You know, is he heavier? Is he not as heavy? Is he as healthy as he was? What do other blood markers look like? From cholesterol to everything else. Stress. All that type. That one's a tough one.
All right. I've been on HGH for 5 months now on cruise of 300 milligrams of test, 5 units of GH a week. I feel as if my feet are numb when I wake up. Is this a side effect? Hands, yeah, but feet, not so sure of.
I've never heard that.
Feet?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Have you?
Like, say, all right, we're saying feet go numb with GH use?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Right now, actually, when I go for my walk first thing in the morning, my right leg goes completely numb, like 15 minutes into it. And, but then it goes away when I like lay flat for a few minutes when I get home.
Huh.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a point where like I think like, am I even stepping with my foot? Like I gotta watch what I'm doing with I walk. So, I don't see any pictures. There's no Ernest Gonzalez on NBC News
Okay.
or Instagram, so that matches a bodybuilder
Well,
description.
based off of that, I mean, I'd say the dude had some muscle, you know?
Oh yeah, there's no question he's got a great physique.
So
The question is just whether
if he's going in for men's physique, is he going to be substantially bigger, and is that going to make him better in men's physique down the road? I'd say he's got enough muscle that if he wanted to go for it, especially like Andrew was saying at a junior national show, I'd try that out. Might be a little bit late.
I'll
to
go
get
on
started
record and say that
prep now.
it's not definitive. Like I can't look at that picture and say whether it's a good idea. I just can't see the shoulder to waist ratio very well. This is a reach because it's only one picture. It could even be the lighting and the glare. But I look and I go, his chest is a little bit thin. I'm not sure. I just really would like to see a shot with his arms down. Like I said, even a front relaxed, and I think I'd have a better idea. But again, it's only one shot. It's hard to tell.
I just don't think he's going to look foolish. He's not. I don't think he stands.
No, he's not going to look.
He's not.
I don't think anybody in the third
I was
call
gonna
outs
say
at
the
Nationals
R
is
word.
going to look foolish. To be
You know what
honest
I
with you.
mean.
But
I was gonna say.
Yeah. I just
You want to feel like you're going to be competitive. You want to look like you at least line up with the guys.
Here's
right?
my best advice for Ricky. Take this year off. Get a little bit bigger. Get a little bit more rounder in the delts. I think conditioning can be a little bit better from that picture. You never know from one picture. The quads just didn't look as striated as what I would want to see in Classic on national stage.
He's going to do men's physique though.
Is he doing men's physique or
yeah,
is he
men's
doing both?
physique.
Yeah, he's going to do men's physique at nationals, I thought.
See, here's the thing: we got to see what he looks like in men's physique. Like, we got to see what those abs look like when you're crunched down on them in that front shot. I'm staying from a classic standpoint. Well, here's the thing: because don't you want to bodybuild too? You look like a young enough guy. Don't you want to keep growing?
I think he was a masters guy too.
No, that's a different guy that was asking.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, that was the guy who we don't have his physique, and he was asking how to downsize.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So I don't think Ricky said he was doing just one or the other. I think he just said that he won his class in Classic and he won the overall men's physique, and he was thinking about nationals. But my best advice, and this is what I would tell a client that had those same results and that what I saw in this one picture, we're going to wait until 2027. Let's grow. Let's have another great season of growing. And then let's do a qualifier at some point. And if NPC Nationals in Texas in December is what you want to do, we're going to do a qualifier in October and then give you a little bit of time to fill out and just really like lower the body stress, and then we're going to go do nationals. And if you won a class already, you should be able to win the show for your qualifier. So that's how I would do it.
If sides are tolerated well, what would be better for off season? 600 test, 350 EQ, or 400 test, 200 EQ, and 350 NPP?
Do the last one again. You go through these so fast I can't register.
So basically, higher test with some EQ or lower test with some EQ and some NPP.
I would say 600 test, 350 EQ, and 350 NPP.
I like you. I was like, if he's gonna put out the same numbers as I am, that's pretty close.
Yeah,
I'm
going to blend the two.
Yeah,
It's the higher doses, but all three compounds.
Or just,
Right.
you know what? Let's add them all together. 1,000 tests, 550 EQ, and 350 NPP. Let's do that.
We got our next reel.
Actually,
set.
that's what I would do.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. 1,000 tests. What'd I say? 1,000 tests, 550 EQ, and 350 NPP sounds like, if sides are tolerated, what would be better for the off season? In my opinion, that would probably be a cycle I would like for myself.
Okay.
I might come into a prep phase with those 3 compounds, like right now.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. In fact, for what it's worth, I had DHB in there and I had to pull it out.
Really? Why'd you pull it out?
Because
I can't say it's causative, but because I've done 12, 15 cycles probably with DHB. Never had an issue. But
Yeah.
at the beginning of the cycle, I see my sleep score going up and my recovery is going in the toilet. And I'm not stressed. Financially, business, everything, my marriage, everything is great.
Yeah.
But I am beat to shit. And I feel like a lot of inflammation. And I just dumped the DHB. I'm like, this is just the most obvious. I'm going to dump the DHB. Within a week, I started feeling better. I put the NPP in, and I'm laughing at myself going, why would you put it in there? I mean, other than I like the compound, but why would you put it in there when you 90% of the time start a prep with tests, EQ, and NPP? So I went back to what I've always done. Why would I change it now? So I went back to it, and I already feel better. Sleep is better, everything. I'm less... there was something weird, and I hate to get in. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but I did. I felt like, am I anxious? I'm like, I don't want to tell Scott about this. But the anxiety is because I have 1,000,001. I am super freaking busy, and I think that's more the correlation. But the inflammation is already down. Sleep scores going up. Recovery starting to trend back up again. Not big time. It's only been a little over a week, 9 days maybe. But I got it out of there.
What about this one? Went from a blast to a health phase. Dropped from a gram of test to 800 primo 6 IUs of growth. 5 weeks now into 175 tests and 4 units of growth. And my libido finishing ability has tanked. Could it be from the sudden drop instead of a taper?
I got a theory.
Yeah.
You want me to wait? Go ahead, Andrew.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I think depending on the test, I think the test is tapering out of your system faster than the EQ, and your estrogen is tanking.
Yeah. The primo. He was on 800 primo.
Okay. Good
Equal.
point.
Still
Same
same answer, right?
Same. Yeah. I just screwed up the compound. Sorry, but that's what I think. And I think it'll equal out. I don't. Well, it's just preference, but 175 tests. You could go a little bit higher, but I don't think it'll be a game changer. But I mean, the point is you're dropping to that low level of tests, and I think that the primo arguably is keeping your estrogen too low.
We've got a doctor with us. Transal tunnel syndrome. That would be the feet, I imagine.
Tarsal.
Oh, tarsal. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. All
right. I'd not had that or heard. Now, every now and then I might get a little pinky toe that might be a little numb, but I can't even relate. I can't even say it has anything to do with GH. It might just be my shoes are too small.
Thank you for chiming in, Doc. We appreciate you.
Can you place the following at their best? This one looks good. Dennis Newman, Tom Prince, or Mike Francois?
See, now these questions I like. What is it again? Tom Prince,
Dennis Newman, and Mike Francis.
Francois.
Francois. I don't know. Depends on how you pronounce it.
And Bob Harris?
I don't see Bob Harris.
I'm sorry. Well, who's do it again? I'm
Dennis
You're
Newman,
making shit
Tom
up.
Prince, and Mike Francois. That was it. There's no Tom.
sorry. What was the first one though?
Dennis Newman.
Okay, so I'm trying to keep a straight face. Okay. What do you guys think?
Oh, man.
Go with your preference, not even
I know
necessarily
I'm
like
try-
who would beat
I don't.
who.
Yeah, I don't care who did better. I don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm literally looking at their physiques in my mind's eye. God, man.
I'm gonna pull their pictures up too.
I really like Tom Prince. Like, oh man. But I like Dennis Newman too.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's a good
Dennis
one.
was a little prettier than the other guys. Tom Prince was just freaky to well, so was Mike Francois. So
Yep.
I would put Tom Prince for some reason. I think just I don't know. I remember just seeing pictures of him in the magazines, just being like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah.
That's just me. Yeah, I like them all, but
I'm gonna go Dennis Newman.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and they're all great. Make no mistake.
Yeah, Mr. All American, just kind of
Yeah. Had that good look, just pretty. Yeah, but I was a
Yeah.
Sean Ray fan. I just thought Sean Ray was just the prettiest dude, and he was like 20 at the time.
yeah.
Mike Francois had the calves. That's what he had going for him.
Tom Prince did too, though.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm trying
On
to
a
find
very critical level, here's what I think of Francois. I think his back was so deadlift dominant that I didn't like that. But it fit his physique because he was just so freaking
powerful.
massive.
looking.
Yes. I mean, so, but that's the only like, if I have to find a critical, mark, against him, I guess I'd say that. Dennis is just pretty. That's just crazy.
So there's your Mike Francois. We've got some Tom Prince here.
Which is one of his best poses out of anything that he did back then, as far as the magazines and stuff.
That's a great shot.
That's a dream tan color.
and that's a really nice pose on Dennis Newman. Like that's
yeah.
a beautiful picture, just overall.
I'll click on his most muscular.
Thank you, especially the hands,
Yeah,
like in
that
front of
for-
his. There you go,
that
right
was
there.
nasty.
That's the
That's-
money right there.
That's pretty sick.
Take Kevin LeBron's face and like the two had very similar.
Yes, they did.
crazy delts, crazy pec, like unbelievable.
Yeah,
Look at this shot too.
For me, it's the most muscular on him though.
Yeah,
like,
same.
That's a
Yeah.
great shot there though too. Just
Oh, yeah.
just everything on him.
the
especially
color of the
in that
trunks gives
time.
away the era, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
right.
Oh yeah. Yes, it does.
Lime green.
Click on that picture of Tom Prince before and after. Like,
Oh, like right here, this one.
yeah, just 'cause I thought the conditioning, the picture would be a little clearer on him there. But
Yeah.
yeah, man.
It's crazy that I remember these pictures
Same.
from the magazines.
That's
It's
what I'm
so
talking about.
bizarre.
Is that a picture of him and Jay down below?
Let's see.
Oh no, Craig Titus. Is that
Oh,
Craig
there's
Titus?
a story.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, he's still in jail, huh?
Well, I hope so. He's not going anywhere anytime soon.
But Kelly Ryan got out.
Yeah. I
Oh,
heard
is that right?
I'm almost. Let me double check.
No, yeah, she did. Yeah, I looked into it a little
did,
while
right?
ago. We did a reaction to that whole thing.
Yeah. You did a reaction.
Yeah.
That one on the right. Oh, I'm sorry. He already got rid of it.
Sorry.
That's
I
a-
saw this
that's a-
one and I was like, that's a great looking
Yeah,
shot.
it's great.
So
Hey,
he's
what-
still kind of
what-
competitive, by the way. I was down in Columbus and he was at Mike Davies' gym. He personal trains there. And of course, like I never compare myself to a legend like Mike Francois, right? And Mike Davies said something to him like, "Hey, Scott will give you a run for your money on calves." And I was like, "Oh yeah." I said something like, "Yeah, you ever win a competition, I'll step up with you, Mike." And I mean it completely, just lighthearted. And he got like this kind of serious look on his face. He's like, "Oh no, I got really good calves. You're not gonna beat me, kid." Like it was like
he didn't know that. Yeah.
no, like he got like serious for a minute there, and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, all right,
Dang.
yeah." It's funny.
There was a shot that you had up there that looked like reminded me of Troy Zucchalato. It
Hold
was
on.
at a distance, so I couldn't tell. But
Hold on, let me
um,
bring it back up.
Can we get Kelly Ryan on the show?
thank you for thinking.
Think
I
she-
was just
you think
literally
she
thinking,
would?
call her and get her on.
Yeah.
I would be like, what the hell was going through you guys' mind? Like, what
Yeah.
drugs were you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you do that? Whose idea
Was
was
there-
it really?
Which one was it, Skip?
It's not him, but it's the guy on the left doing the hands on hips next to the physique guys.
Okay, hold on a second.
Just go straight left.
Left?
You just,
Left, left, left.
right there. And I know it's not him, but that's what it reminded me of when I saw that picture. Look, I was thinking, oh, is that Zuccolotto? And I'm like, no.
Okay.
And that's going back. I mean, that's stringer tank top, baggy pants era.
There's some freaking legs on that dude. They're just trunks.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's something that's missing these days. That bottom quad development has almost changed to where the mass in the bottom of the quad now is in the adductors.
Oh yeah, no, we talked about that on my show. How the quad sweep is not what it used to be, but the adductors are just much, much bigger. And but back in the day, when I first started, adducting wasn't even part of your workout.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah,
was
no.
maybe during contest prep, maybe. Right?
They came up as a byproduct of training your quads hard, right?
Yes, exactly. But now, do you know any bodybuilders in any gym that don't have at least one adductor session in one of their leg workouts if they have 2 leg workouts or their main leg workout? Like every single one does adductor work.
I don't count, but I don't do them.
Really? Okay.
I'm not kidding. I hate the look so much, and I make no mistake. I'm not going to wake up one morning and go, "Oh, my adductors are huge." And I think the bigger part too with the quad development back then was we were squatting as bodybuilders far more upright, stance narrow, arguably okay, maybe not, but we just do so much more. I say adductor. The movements that we do are so adductor dominant and glute dominant these days compared to the 80s. We used to elevate the heels on plates. This is in the 80s. And you literally would try to squat as upright as you could possibly squat. And that just is not, I saw Dorian Haywood, and great physique, great guy. I've known him for years, competed against him a long time ago in Colorado. But he is a good example of that. It's a powerlifting squat. It's very forward, very posterior chain dominant, and he has the adductors and glutes, for that reason. So, he's a pro. I'm not knocking the guy. I'm just saying that is a good example of the difference between the quad or leg development, lower body development, not even just quads.
All right.
From the difference of 25, 35 years ago?
Mm-hmm. Ricky's getting a lot of play out of this show. We got guys, once again, let me have a hand for Ricky Gonzalez. Third time we talked about him today. So this was him at his when he won his the overall in men's physique.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just recently, right?
Yeah,
this year.
Okay.
Yeah. I stand by what I said.
Okay. Yeah,
I stand by what you said.
Yeah, I'd say more.
It doesn't mean he doesn't have a good physique. I don't want to,
not at all.
I try to give the same advice I would give a client of mine.
Absolutely.
As if so this is not me shitting on him.
Right.
Not ready to be in the conversation for top 5 at the national level yet. That's all I'm saying.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'd agree too, seeing him here. What would you guys give him constructive feedback on from what we can see in this shot? What would you want to see, give him to take to the gym to bring up this year?
Yeah. Make his waist look smaller. Like we need to see more ab development, but we need the waist to look smaller, which means bigger shoulders, bigger pecs, even bigger arms. And I want to see the conditioning. And again, lighting. You never know. It's
that's
an orange
true.
Backdrop. He's got an orange, a pro tan.
That's
so
an awful background. It's terrible.
Yeah, is it all kind of blending? It doesn't look like the conditioning you would need to bring. Like you want to see the serratus. You want to see the obliques. You want to see every ab really dug out. But great structure. Like, could you do nationals? Absolutely. Like, you wouldn't get laughed at. You wouldn't be. You wouldn't even be the last place guy. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if you're going into it to say, hey, like, I want to see how I want to see how I stack up against some of the top guys. I just don't think you're there yet.
Okay, honest question for both of you.
Yeah.
Structurally, is he, at least at this point, is he more men's physique or is he more bodybuilding? And the reason I ask that is I'm far more impressed with that shot where
I
he's
did like
posing.
the classic. I did like if you had to ask me which shot I liked better, I like the classic shot better. Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because, and this is just me being brutally honest, I think the midsection, from a structural standpoint, he would have to make a lot of change. Because how much are you going to really bring your stomach down? You can do things to bring the midsection down, but there has to be a lot of chest, shoulder, back to create the illusion that the waist is smaller. I think structurally through the midsection, I think he's got a battle. He's got a battle ahead of him to be top 5 at the NPC Nationals as a physique guy. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm saying if I were coaching him, I'd be like, bro, stay with the bodybuilding. And it's just me being honest. I'm not trying to be shitty. I'm trying to give him good advice. That's just me.
Yeah. I like this classic look. I do.
I did too.
I think that it looks better than his men's physique look. You know, it's funny because his legs look kind of small here with the shorts on.
Yeah.
And they didn't strike me as small in that other shot.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay.
And it may not be a terribly flattering shot either. That that may be too. Yeah. But I agree with you on conditioning and everything. The structure makes me think, how much would it take for me to convince you to stay with the bodybuilding? You know?
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, that was a long show, guys. It was a long show. Hope everybody appreciated it.
You know what? It felt like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's why I like hanging out with you guys.
Well,
Seriously,
we like to keep you happy, Skip. We want you to be happy.
And you know what? Here's the thing. I'm doing my word of the day.
Oh,
I'm
thank
just
you.
doing it.
Thank you. What's your word of the day, Skip?
Well, and I have to keep them simple because you bust my balls about it. So platitudes.
Okay.
Here, I have a couple examples. It is what it is. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I've used the word trite before, overused, terms that are kind of like, come on, be original. So it is. It's like a cliched, trite statement. And it's another word for that it's platitude. I don't care to hear your platitudes. Like, don't tell me that
it's a negative thing.
Don't say stupid shit. Say something original.
Okay. I like that. Hey, you know what I said today, Skip, and I caught myself. I said, my bad.
Nah, I know. Don't bring that up. Yeah, that one didn't go over too well. I don't know.
It was an accident. It was an accident. Yeah. I did something. I can't remember what it was now. And I was in the kitchen with Victoria and with my wife, and I was like, "Oh, my bad." Like I did something, and it was like just a reaction.
Wait, you said that to your wife?
Yeah.
Oh, it's even worse, dude. Wow.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Exactly.
Jesus.
Because your wife looked at you and went, "What?
Like, yeah.
Who are you?"
Rachel would have had some choice words for me after that. Maybe it would have been, I can't say I'm on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like just a thing that I said. I think I said it more to myself out loud,
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Soliloquized?
Yes. Guys, we appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us. Go to bodyberry.com to reach out to Andrew for coaching and teamskip.com to reach out to Skip. Hit me up, McNallyDiets@gmail.com. And of course, TrueNutrition.com. Use our code THINK for additional savings in supplementsource.ca for Canadians. Thank you guys for all your support. Thanks for hanging with us for 2 hours of show and for another episode of Blood, Sweat, and Gear. We will see you soon. See you guys. Thank you. You ever notice how every influencer suddenly has their own supplement company? One day they're doing cable crossovers, the next they revolutionized sports nutrition. It's interesting timing. And somehow every formula has like 47 different ingredients, but only 3 grams total per serving. Amazing. That's why I like True Nutrition. They don't sell hype, they sell ingredients. You want creatine? Buy creatine. Take a full dose. Take 5 grams. Done. You want citrulline? Buy citrulline. No pump matrix needed. No proprietary blends. No underdosed fairy dust. No paying for someone's social media budget. They manufacture in-house, sell pure, single-form ingredients, and they let you build your own stack like an adult. Because bodybuilding isn't complicated. Lift heavy, eat right, know exactly what you're taking. TrueNutrition.com. Use our code THINK to get 10% off and support the podcast. Less influencer magic, more actual supplements.
Yeah, no, Skip. I've never used a double-sided dildo in my acid with both sides going in. Sorry, but keep that to yourself. Oh,
we won't talk about that.
I was going to get you on the renaming of the Trump airport.
Are we on?
And you already you that's well played because I couldn't even get to it. You just went to the dildo. That was good. I'm just sitting here going, I got to take it. Like,
did we have any listeners at that point? I don't think so. That's why I did it because I knew there's no one that's sitting there like ready to go on immediately.
Oh, shit. That's funny.
And then
I
it's
was
like,
waiting.
I heard it.
I'm just going to say it.
Tanya's probably like, I heard that one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I actually recorded it and I'm putting it on the air. Yeah, so what they named the airport, was it Palm Beach?
Yeah.
The Trump International or something like that?
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. It's only like 5 minutes from here. It's just hard to get flights in and out because there's
Is
not
it a
ton
new
of them.
airport or?
No.
It's just really small.
You know how you rename airports after president. You name bridges after presidents.
Yeah.
You name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Here's a good one. What is the number one street name in the United States?
Maine.
I'm sorry, named after someone.
Oh,
Oh,
I was just
shit.
saying
I thought you were
Maine,
just talking
Maine
about
was probably
regulation.
right.
Maine makes sense, but actually no, I don't. I think
Named
it's
after someone.
Damn. Martin Luther King?
Martin Luther King. Ah, good,
very
Scott.
good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Is it?
Who's
Yeah.
number two? You guys will never guess.
Oh, God.
You'll never, ever.
Not Lincoln.
Well, if it's never ever, then just tell. I was going to go
just
with
tell
somebody.
us.
Oh, okay, I'll give you some clues. He's not an American citizen. Never was. But he fought for America. No. But he fought for America.
But he fought for America. Huh.
Are we going to know when you tell us?
I fucking hope so.
Okay.
Marquis de Lafayette.
I don't know who that is.
You know, that's
Marquis?
funny.
Yeah,
I
don't know who
wouldn't
that
have
is.
known the name, but the street.
The street, you see a lot of
Yeah.
Lafayette
Oh,
streets
yeah.
everywhere, especially
Okay,
on the
yeah,
East
you
Coast.
do see a lot of Lafayette streets.
Yeah.
No, I don't know who that is.
He
first time.
was a French upperclassman who decided to come and fight in the American Revolution. And
no
despite getting injured several times, he came back over and fought again and was very... he was basically Washington's surrogate son.
Huh.
Because,
Okay.
Washington never had his own kids. He really had a bond with General Washington, President Washington, and they were lifelong friends and whatnot.
Hey, I'll
And he
tell you,
sacrificed... What's that?
there's a podcast you may enjoy. I'd been meaning to tell you this for a while, so it just came to me.
Yeah.
It's called The Spy Who. And
Okay.
each season is a different story of a spy that, did something. The spy who,
Okay.
whatever, tricked the Nazis.
Put this in here.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. There's some really great seasons of it, and it's crazy because I guess you watch like the 007 movies and all that, and you kind of get a feel for what spies are, but you really start getting more of an in-depth idea of how many of these people that are in like the Trade Commission overseas are really actually agents and stuff
Yes,
like that.
exactly.
It's pretty crazy, man.
I don't know about you guys, because I don't have time for another podcast. But I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
and I don't know about, because Skip, you live right near Miami, close enough. Do you guys ever have you ever been to F1 racing?
No.
Dude, I've been getting into, like, the last 3 weeks, any free time I have to watch anything, I've been watching the F1 racing shows. Like,
Oh yeah, it's totally
gotten-
awesome, but it's
gotten popular
very
too, right?
Expensive too.
it is
With that movie and stuff.
Yeah, so I started with that movie, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
man,
think
this is kind of cool.
They were
And then I
trying
watched-
to like drag people, or not, like
It
bring
worked.
fans in. Did it? Okay.
I've watched 6 seasons of F1, the series on Netflix, and I'm already planning to go and spend money in Miami and go get like box seats or something to go and watch. some
No
of these events.
kidding.
Yeah,
And I'm sure you know it ain't cheap either.
dude. The shittiest seat is like in the stands is $800.
Yeah.
Dang.
And
So
that's
it's
like not that's like nosebleed, the equivalent
Yeah.
of a nosebleed. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not really like nosebleeds because it's all, it's a long track, right?
Yeah.
But
That's like
there's
2025
no, like-
Olympia prices right there.
yeah,
I just mean,
exactly.
yeah, I just mean as far as the price, that's
Yeah.
kind of the nosebleed
Yeah,
price. But yeah,
like you're not getting in the pit. You're not like
there's a lot of money.
meeting
There. It's kind of
drivers.
like the Derby. You have,
Yeah.
you can get there and you can go. You'll spend a few bucks, but if you're in with everything that's going on, it's mad money.
Well, I was looking up. These drivers make between $60 and $100 million a year.
It's
The
ridiculous.
drivers make that. So the teams
Holy
must bring
crap.
in close to $1 billion because the amount of money they spend on the cars.
Oh, yeah.
You might wreck a car one week and they got to rebuild it and put a whole new stock or upgraded engine, and they're constantly tinkering and making it more aerodynamic, and it's crazy. So yeah.
Think about the shipping of the cars, how many, the equipment and everything else. I mean, it's just such a next level pay scale. It's just like, damn.
It's an upper class sport for sure. Yeah.
Like bodybuilding. You got to
Oh,
have
yeah.
that money.
Very lucrative.
But like a level or 30 from that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Skip, you had a topic.
Yeah, I did. What was it?
It was guys being judged on their
Oh, yeah,
was it
yeah.
their most like what their history versus
Judge, yeah. Like we assume that, as it should be, that everybody on stage is just judged against each other in that moment and on that day. But the
Yeah.
argument is that either recently or within the last 5 years or so, it's it's kind of gone more toward being judged, like the person being judged versus like a specific competitor being judged on that day compared to what they were last time. Like that can benefit them.
How would we break this down? We would want to take pictures of somebody, say like Nick Walker, and compare
it's the prime example because that's, at least for me,
to Nick, you know,
that's what has come up with me, and they use Nick as an example in Pittsburgh, and I get it.
Yeah,
you know, I think it's a valid. Well, I don't want to give away my position. I think it's a valid question, I guess, and the fact that I've been asked it a few times, you know, I'm not going to be like, well, you know, everybody's blowing up my DMs for the last 3 months. So I just got to get this question on here and answer, you know.
Yeah.
What food do you eat for your third meal?
Well, don't answer him, Andrew, because we could, if you know, don't get into it, because I don't want you to have to.
Not yet.
We're not on the show yet.
Yeah. Are we gonna get? So I'm looking at a picture of Nick Walker against Derek from 2025 Pittsburgh Pro. Would we want to maybe grab? I'll grab that picture, maybe.
Grab the Olympia.
And who denied? I want to get this right because I might not be right. Okay, so I'm asking you guys if this is true.
Okay.
Who turned down working with Derek?
Who turned down working with Derek?
Yeah, didn't somebody?
Well, Hottie, you know, ended their relationship.
Wait, what?
Hani ended their relationship.
Oh, you said Hottie, and I'm like,
did I? Yeah,
I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah. So Hani ended their relationship, I think, because he wanted to step back from. Honestly, I don't think he wanted the drama of having to coach two guys in the top three anymore. You know.
Okay.
And also having Chris, and I think he knew Chris was going to retire, and he looked like a good time to step away and just keep Hottie because he'd always been in Hottie's corner. So I know Hottie, it's like, you know.
Yeah.
And also Hottie is one of his signed athletes, so he has a vested interest in doing as well as he can with him. So, you know, I think there's that. And I think, honestly, everything I hear is that Hottie, with the exception of the last 2 weeks, is like so no drama. Just give me the work, tell me what to do, and that's his thing. So
let me ask you guys, just curious while we're getting ready, how do you, if you take out, you know, drama and things that have been said and all that, you just put just physique. That's it, just physique. Who are you the most impressed with out of the top 5? Like, who would you say, you know what, that's legit? And if it's Derek, that's fine, because obviously he won it, you know.
Andrew.
Oh,
Andrew
no
is pretty impressive, yeah.
Okay.
I think he's kind of the most exciting to me, too, because he has a lot of potential to still build into. Yeah. It's not like if you get Hottie, for instance, again, you know, or Derek again. It's like, okay, these are who these guys are. We're not going to see them like jump another level. But a guy like Andrew, let's say he put it together and he pulled it off, wins the Olympia, and then that gives him more momentum. Like next year could be a whole different guy, like even harder to beat.
Well, let's say that Andrew right now might be tighter than he was at 3 weeks out from the Arnold or the Olympia. We're 3 weeks out from the Arnold right now. Let's say he's like 11 pounds heavier.
Ooh, that'd be freaking wild. Let's say that, huh? Yeah. Let's say that.
I mean, that's what I've had a chance to witness. So
you've heard it here first, guys.
It's almost more fun with the guys who are not consistent. Seriously, because you know what the hotties are going to look like.
Yeah.
You know what Derek's going to look like. But you don't know what Nick's going to look like. And I'm not taking a shot at Nick like, oh my God, he's so... But
he's had his ups and downs.
He's not as consistent. Yeah. And when he is on, it's like, oh shit, man. So, you know, just like you're saying, whether it be Andrew Jack and the progress that he's making, I'm even thinking of, glad we're not we're recording, but it's not the show. I can't think of the other cat that I'm thinking of that.
Who? That's in the top 5? Martin or
Samson?
Well, Samson, I mean, I don't know. Is he really not that consistent? I think he's pretty consistent.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the name you're looking for. I wasn't trying
to. No, I know. I'm struggling. When I think of something else, it'll come to me. But anyway, point is I like that. I like that unknown because I think that kind of feeds. Otherwise, I mean, let's be fair. Sometimes if everybody just came in and they were 100%, I mean, that's kind of. There's, like, give me a surprise. Give me like, oh shit, did you see so-and-so? Oh, damn, he was looking, that type of thing versus, oh, okay. Yeah, it's pretty obvious here how everything, is going to fall, and everybody was 100%.
All right, let's bring this thing in. Let's just keep this conversation going, though.
We don't want to see everyone at 100%. I want to get that clear.
No, it's not that I don't want to see. I want to see 100%, but we know that's really. I mean, does it ever really happen that way? There's always something that can be better. I'm saying
you want to be
knowing.
surprised.
It's almost better to have the inconsistent people in there to wonder what's going to happen and how it's going to unfold. It just makes it more dramatic. Otherwise, I just feel like it's very.
So you actively root for pro bodybuilders to come into this? I got it. Okay. Just wanted to get that out there. Okay.
I've been watching this show. I've been watching these shows for a long time. I need some kind of something here.
Skip
something not
Walker
predictable.
You're like a Red Sox fan, like only happy when the team's losing. You know what I mean? Like, I need something to talk shit about.
But at the same time, in my defense, I am going to say all the way back to the Lee Haney days. I wasn't a huge Lee Haney fan, but I accept the fact he was clearly the best bodybuilder. But I was a huge Sean Ray fan. So I look at Hottie and I go, I really like his physique. Like that is, versus say like, Derek. Which isn't to say I don't like his physique, but I don't like it as much as I like
This all could be good stuff for the show. So no more, guys.
Okay,
No
go
more.
ahead, go
No
ahead.
more.
All right.
All right.